7 on the 3rd of June. The 3rd of June, and I was, what's that song about the 3rd of June, and I was doing, so there's a song that has it was the 3rd of June, and I was going down to the Chattahoochee River.
What the hell are you
Billy
talking?
Joe Royal or somebody? It was the 3rd of June.
Never heard of it.
Oh, my God. I guarantee you there's a song, and the famous line is, it was the 3rd of June, and I think it's a Billy Joe ode to Billy Joe going down to the, oh, my God, you don't know that
Riley?
song? No. Oh, my God. The Thriller off the Chattahoochee Bridge.
Bobby Gentry
Bobby
sang it?
Gentry, yeah. I'll bet you. It's
I
the
almost
3rd
met her
of June
once.
and threw her over the Bobby Gentry Bridge or whatever the hell
That's not about it.
Well, you bastards.
It was Bobby Gentry.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the
They're
Ballad
throwing
of
over the bridge.
Ballad of Billy Joe.
Yeah, but it was thrown over the Tallahatchie Bridge.
By the way,
What's
I've
the
driven
name?
over the Tallahatchie Bridge.
Yeah, it
It's
didn't
about
make it.
6 feet to the water, and it's about 4 feet deep.
What's the name of the
Reminds me
song?
of the time. Remember when one
Ode
of our
to Billy
famous
Joe.
one of our famous radio broadcasters back in the 90s was dangling himself over an overpass, threatening to jump. And so,
Who was that again?
And so I encouraged everybody to honk their horn and tell him to jump. You know, for one thing, he was like 14 feet off the ground. So what's he going to do, break an ankle? Hurt his hip?
He wasn't working with us at the time.
No.
It was when all our mouths dropped to the floor when he walked in the door and they said, "Oh, here's our new talk show." I was like, "The guy who just tried to kill himself? That's a hell of a way to get a job."
Anyway, and that's when they blasted me in the what's the underground
Creative
news?
loafing.
The creative loafing.
Underground newspaper. The Bird. Yeah,
Jump.
it was in the Bird.
Yeah, hose him off. You know, and I said, get the fire department out there, hose him off. He's not going to hurt anything. He's got to break a leg. Well, the traffic was backed up for like 12 miles. It was
agree.
rush hour.
Jump in.
Anyway.
So were you?
what's that?
Were you reprimanded for?
No, I was not. In fact,
Because
that's
back
what,
then, management backed you up.
Well, that was back then. It was Sluggo and Nancy Haystack. Nancy, one of the greatest ladies of all time. I love that girl. Are you all right?
I just dropped the phone.
She was the greatest boss in the world. I remember she posted in the paper a cartoon when I showed up. Before me was what's the matter?
Oh God! I didn't think we were on the air.
Yeah, see, I told you I couldn't
glad I
find the
looked.
camera. It's a different place.
It's got a better view. That way I can, until
Excellent,
I figure out where I'm going to
excellent.
put that up, it's a good view of
the people
logo.
before me on the afternoon show were Freddie Mertz and who was one? Lewis, Freddie Mertz,
Brian Wilson.
Brian Wilson.
You replaced Brian Wilson.
I replaced Freddie Mertz.
Okay.
And the show back then when Sluggo hired me, I had been fired or laid off. Well, I'd been fired. They bought out my contract at the other station, and then Sluggo hired me. And the show at that time was 4 to 6, because they had an hour delay of Rush Limbaugh, who was on 1 to 4 instead of noon to 3. And so I went on 4 to 6, and he said that Freddie Mertz, who was on the show before me, would come into the station at 4:04 during the news. And that's how he'd get prepared to do his show, by walking in at 4 o'clock and just talking for 2 hours. So the Nancy Haystack put a cartoon showing the evolution of man from caveman to sort of semi-erect to actually human, and she put it in the paper as Brian Wilson, Freddie Mertz, and the Kimmer or something. It was hysterical. But that's the way that started, was for that 2-hour show, and I have no idea why I'm talking about that show for 2 hours. What did we start talking
brought
about?
to you by Atlanta Custom Closets, closetpro.net, 404-255-0589, Atlanta Custom Closets.
I am totally stumped as to why I got onto that sidetrack talking about going back on the air.
Closetpro.net.
Holy cow. What was I talking about?
We were talking about Eric backing us up because
Eric and Nancy Haystack. And now it's back in the day when we would walk into, literally, I would walk into Nancy's office, and I would sit down, and we would, laugh about stuff that was going on in the world, and that was the show. I mean, that was basically,
she canceled my show.
But I also came in.
She canceled it for Planet Radio.
Well, sorry, but I also came in 4 hours early to help you anyway. So, but that was fun because they backed us up back then. It was I missed that whole thing. I couldn't hear any of that.
Nothing.
Oh, good. I love it when they just have their own conversation.
You're just going on and on about something.
Eat me, eat me. You can see it on the Facebook
Am
now.
I on there?
When once in a
Yep.
while, Pete will just stand up and go over to talk to Flounder, and I'm going,
Well, do your show. I trust you.
Well, now you can't say that. Do your show and he disappears.
I trust you for 1 minute when I walk away.
you know better than that.
Whenever I have to go to the restroom.
You ever met me? Oh, by the way, you bastard. He sent it around. In fact, I was going to put it on Facebook and I forgot. In fact, you should load it on Facebook. The picture and
it's on Facebook. That's where I
Oh,
got it.
okay. It's a picture of, was it a duck?
A bird.
A bird. And a picture of a bird, and it says, what was it? Don't trust. What the hell was the thing? You sent it, and I don't remember what it was.
I said, don't trust anyone.
Yeah, don't trust anyone. And then it said, turn this upside down.
Turn this upside down.
And I wrote back to Pete, no, because I knew it was a trick. Because I looked at the picture of the bird, and I thought, now I know just looking at it the right side up, if I turn it upside down, it's not going to do anything different. You can tell when those pictures go either way, you can tell there's something funny.
Nothing gets past
so
you.
I knew that wasn't it. But again, and then eventually I said, oh, bullshit, and I turned it upside down to see it. And of course, it's nothing. Don't trust anybody.
Flounder did it too.
Which is exactly why he did it.
Don't trust anyone.
Oh, mercy. A couple things.
Real quick, Kimmer, congratulations to Shelley Winter. He is.
Shelley got a full-time gig?
He got a full-time gig over at WSB. So
Yeah.
congrats to Shelley.
Yeah, good. Well, that's, you gotta give him credit. He's working.
Good for him.
And again, if you'd like to help us keep working,
We love shit.
go to thekimmershow.net, and on that you can click into PayPal, Flounder.
Yeah.
Yes.
PayPal, Patreon,
Or
Facebook,
patreon.com.
Twitter.
Or get an address to send us a check too, right?
I don't
Can
think
you do
get
that?
You want me to put your address on there?
No.
All right,
They
then.
need,
They
no.
contact me and I'll get
Yeah,
it.
so
Okay,
there's a contact form on there.
Okay,
And
to
so,
contact-
Yeah. So that's where you get the emails from.
Okay, so they can go to patreon.com.
Yep.
Or PayPal.
Or
Or contact us, and then they can get an address to send us a check. I just got a check from our lovely Denise, who sends us something every month. Very sweet.
Well, I
girl.
proved something. I just went to the bank, and I got a check from farmhouseprintingco.com about to
good.
Pete, a few weeks ago, and I just now got it to the bank. And my name's Pete, and I put it in there. There's no record of Pete anywhere, and they don't give a damn.
Oh.
They took the check, and they put it in as long as they're getting money,
that's
they
not
don't
your
care.
real name.
They don't care.
Is
And,
that,
you've
is
had
that
that
for your
issue before.
your T-shirts and
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah.
And again, farmhouseprintingco.com. They got whatever you want printed. They'll do it all for you. Speaking of that, I swear this. I know it's me. Okay, I know it's me. For some reason, there are of the 3 or 4 drive-through aisles at the Wells Fargo branch. The middle 2. When you go up to the speaker, you stop your car, you do the thing, put the thing in, send it up, zing, zang, get your stuff, and you're ready to take off. If you want to turn to the right, when you're leaving those aisles and want to turn to the right, you're going to hit your tires.
Well, you are.
Yeah, I'm telling you, 2 of them, they go at a funny angle, and they go about 6 inches too far. And almost every time, unless you go way almost hit somebody parked on the other side of the parking lot to make a turn right.
I have a question.
Yes, of course.
Is there a tire place right next door?
Probably a fix-it repair place for broken, and I've got scrapes on my wheels. I mean, it's also there are 2 of them. The middle 2, and they're just like 4 inch. And the same thing at Publix. There's a Publix where you turn to the right, and where the cars merge, and the curb is way out too far, and it bang your tires. Anyway,
You know what I've noticed?
What's
Since
that?
the China virus?
Yeah.
There's never a line at the bank anymore. You walk right on in, go walk up.
Yeah.
There's never a line.
The only thing I've noticed is occasionally there's a delay because they're still trying to find people to work. Believe it or not. How could you not? If you were 23 and maybe had a college degree or a couple of years or something, don't you think getting into banking might be a pretty good line of work that could lead to God knows what finance
The
and
government's
investment?
taking over all the money. You won't own anything.
Jeez, I guess. But I mean, I can't believe it. Man, if there were so many different things I would do if I were alive in this world and in my 20s. Oh man, I'd be screwed. You ever figure out the song? I think it was Betty Joe was a third of Joe.
Billy Joe.
Billy Joe. Okay. A funny thing. Not that everything isn't funny. And it is Let It Rip Friday. By the way, we have lots of. We'll talk about guns. We'll talk about politics. We'll talk about lots of stuff. I mean, are you going to hear some? You're going to hear some funny comments. You're going to have Matt. If you missed the 106.3 this morning. By the way, how did I do this morning? At 7:30 on Friday morning, I go on the air with these guys.
Another
Is that
good
right?
one. It was really good.
Was
yes,
it okay? I mean,
absolutely.
I don't know whether I'm so obnoxious.
No, I think you're comfortable now, and it's easy for you to kind of go back and forth with them. I mean, it takes a minute.
Are they okay with this?
Absolutely. I mean,
Okay.
it's the same thing with Neil. Is do your thing.
Yeah.
It's
well, that's
it's
what
your
they get. I mean,
it's your segment.
Yeah, which is, of course, why we're not working. But that's a whole other issue. Anyway. Oh, by the way, speaking of that, I got some great news, and it's coming up here in a second about our new link to 106.3. But first, where the hell? A couple things. I got a note from my favorite ex-wife last night. When I go to the stable and take videos, I first send them to my favorite ex-wife and my 2 daughters. I send to 3 people. I send my horse videos. Then I put them on my personal Facebook page. Then I put them on the podcast Facebook page. Okay. I got a note last night from my favorite ex-wife who said, by the way, please take me off your texting video horse list because we're going to Europe for a month. And you know what that means? If you text somebody in Europe and they answer the phone, it's like $60. So she spent $4,000 on my daily texting or something for a couple of weeks in Europe. So I've got to remember not to include her, because when I send the video, I hit the letter S, and it pops up all 3 of them who are linked on because I do it every day.
Cameron, they're not going to Europe.
They're not going to Europe. Just get away from. Yeah, it's a whole other. It's like my daddy, when I was 2 years old, he took me out in a boat in the lake and threw me overboard to teach me how to swim. He wasn't teaching you how to swim.
Throw them off.
Sorry. Anyway, but I thought that was. I didn't think. I had never thought about. I didn't think about it. But again, and then Sarah sent me a message. Don't forget. And so they're very serious about it.
What do you call a person with no arms and no legs that you throw into the lake?
Rocky.
Bob.
For at least for a minute or 2. Also, speaking of
Bridge too far. You took a nice innocent joke about an armless, legless person. Took it south.
Yeah, well, it's like the guy on the beach with no arms and no legs, and a hot girl comes by and he says,
don't do that.
I've never, not once have I ever had it. Well, you are now. I think we all know the punchline.
You know, I was thinking this morning, we ought to do a segment of the show called The Naughty Bits, where we tell the stories like that, but it's separate, where they can watch on somewhere else. I don't know. That'd be probably a pain in the butt to try and do.
Wait, do what?
No,
now?
you just mean like we would do an extra segment, maybe
the off-color stuff.
Oh,
that we can't.
Oh, well, like
and
do a
make
post.
A note, okay,
Facebook?
tell that stupid joke after we finish the regular show.
A pay-per-view.
Now the camera.
Make them pay for it.
Yeah,
behind the paywall, the naughty bits.
Yeah.
Well, how many naughty? Do we have enough naughty story? Oh, hell, I do.
Are you kidding me?
One
go back
today.
to the first
Career
100
of 'em.
podcasts.
That whole segment we should have
Yeah,
done.
in fact, save those and we'll make those pay-per-view, because those.
No, we'll start doing that, and we'll figure out that, or maybe
I don't know, something.
Anyway,
Well,
whatever.
it wouldn't have to be one show. It could be a whole week or a whole month.
Yeah, that's true. And again, the reason we're doing this, we are. I mean, I hate talking about money. It's embarrassing, but we are really trying to keep this going, and we're linking with YouTube. And if you can sign up, is that set to go? Do we know anything more about that, Flounder? Can they go to thekimmershow.net?
thekimmershow.net.
And there's a YouTube link.
Well, there's a link to every Kimmer site there is.
Okay.
So
Now,
that's Twitter, that's Facebook, that's YouTube, Patreon, PayPal, everything.
Okay. If they want to go to the YouTube thing, do they have to sign up with a password and stuff, or just click it?
No, they just click.
Click it and then click the subscribe button because you want to subscribe to the Kimmer Show.
But they don't have to fill out a form and passwords and all. Well, the reason I ask is because, and again, we're trying to do things on YouTube to get people to watch, so that you don't have to spend money to keep us going. If we get enough people, then we may be able to get some. So we're honestly
quit begging for money.
I don't want to have to go back to work. I mean,
there's the Kimmer YouTube page right there.
Okay, outstanding. Again, I hate to belittle everything that I don't know, but because a lot of people are just like me. Our friend Patricia from Canada sent me tried to make me. Well, she tried to friend me on Facebook, and she said it didn't work. I don't know why I can't even get on my own, whatever's going on there. So she said, can you friend me? And I said, sure. And I don't even know how to do that. So I Googled Patricia with her last name and Facebook, and then it wanted me to sign up for some kind of a
don't Google.
stuff.
You go on Facebook and look for. Why are you Googling anything?
I didn't think of that. I forgot I have a Facebook.
So she asked you to friend her on Facebook, so you went to Google?
I wanted to Google her on Facebook. But if
you're not Googling, you're looking her up on Facebook. Let's get rid of the word Google here.
Okay.
You're not Googling anybody. You're on Facebook and you're looking for a
Now I have
friend.
a Facebook app, so if I just click that, now what's on your mind?
Go to the magnifying glass.
All right.
Where's the magnifying?
Right there. Oh, search. Oh, God. Okay. And then, okay, all right. Well, see, I didn't know.
Epiphany.
Again, this is so stupid. And again, I didn't know. I'm an educated man.
There it is. Well, Michigan State.
Well, sort of educated.
Arizona State.
Arizona State, Michigan State. I could have been a doctor.
Basically, only state institutions would take you in. Are those your...
I was a teacher when I was there.
I went to a state institution. I can't say.
They couldn't believe it. You were in the Marines when they had their Kent State, commemorative, and put those freaking badges off.
Don't
anyway.
throw rocks at people with guns.
Yeah,
Kent State
that's
students.
right. Dumb shit. Anyway, so we got this. So I will, Patricia, if you're watching, I will figure out how to do the friend thing. Also, again, we got a lot of newsy stories. You're going to hear a really funny part of a documentary from a very clever guy. I really like this Matt Walsh. When he shows up on Tucker, I really, really enjoy him. And you're going to hear from him. You're going to hear a couple of nasty, soundbite type things.
He's actually better on Twitter by himself. He's a little laid back too much when he's on Tucker. He's frightened a little bit, but on Twitter, man, he's boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. Again, I don't follow him. I don't see him on Twitter, but you're gonna hear from him. So we got a whole bunch of newsy stuff coming up here, including some fairly interesting musical highlights. So we'll talk about later, all that stuff. And Wonder Woman. Have you heard about the Wonder Woman thing? It was on Twitter.
What does she do now?
Well, I'm going to tell you, I can't believe that I found it. Again, I don't go on Twitter twice a day. We're getting ready to the podcast.
Which one? The Linda Carter one?
Yeah,
or Gal
Linda
Gadot?
Carter. Linda Carter. We have an update of Linda Carter.
Twitter
and
is
Wonder
so
Woman.
much more fun than Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but I'm starting. I do that twice a morning, getting ready for the podcast to see what's going on, so I don't forget to miss a topic. So anyway, we're going to talk about her in a second. First of all, a quick thing. So we have actual topics. I am wearing a pair of jeans that I haven't been able to fit into in 15 years. And these are one of the sets of jeans that I bought when I was retired down in Florida and walked into the Macy's or whatever it was. And I love this particular brand of jeans because they fit great. And I tried them on for the girl and I said, what do you think? And she's like this 20-year-old hottie. And she says, oh, man, your butt looks so good. Oh, God, they're perfect. Your butt looks so good in those jeans, man. You really look hot. So I bought them all. Every freaking pair they had. Anyway, but now I couldn't wear them because they're like 34s, and I haven't been able to wear 34s since I was in shape. But I'm wearing them today.
15 years?
Well, let's see. Yeah, probably. No, I beg your pardon. Probably 12 years.
Please tell me you just didn't pull them out and put them on.
No.
Did you wash them?
I didn't wash them yesterday, but they are clean. I mean, they are. No, I didn't have them in the back of a closet someplace. You have moths flying out of it. By the way, I am going to get Flounder's cleaning person to come over at some point in the next couple of weeks and take care of my place. Elvira. Anyway, but I'm wearing my stupid old man jeans from back when I had retired.
We got a camera. Get up and sashay on the boardwalk.
Special, but in fact, I got.
I'm too sexy for my pants. Too sexy for my pants. So sexy. Just walk up and down. I'll do they don't even look that bad. Isn't it great? He loves them. I'm too sexy for my pants. Too sexy for my... Okay, no one can hear you. Who the hell are you talking to? What are you doing? You keep talking. We told you you could hear you. You kept talking.
Oh, okay. Well, they fit at the waist instead of the hip hugger.
That's enough.
So, all right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's weird. It looks like it's dyed in the middle still, but it's faded on the outside. It looks like you peed your pants.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but they're and again, this back when and these are. I can't remember the name of the designer. Now I'm wearing them. I can't remember, but they were like only $40, which at the time was fairly. The jeans were $20. These were
Jordache, aren't they?
No. They were Calvin Klein, I think, or not Calvin Klein. Not Calvin Klein.
Get up, I'll look at it. Get up, I'll show you.
Well, they got to be somewhere.
Turn around and I'll look at your ass. No, not in the front. Are they in the back? They're in the back. All right, lift them up. Oh, God, I'll have to touch you. Hold on a second. What? I can't see it. It's so dark you can't read it.
Yeah. All right, anyway, whatever.
It looked like I was kissing your ass there.
Okay, so I'm going to take care of Patricia. That's going to be great. Now, check this out. I was going on Twitter this morning, and I discovered this story. And again, I find it very interesting. And I'm going to say some comments that you are not going to like.
I think you'd be surprised.
Linda Carter settles the Pride Month debate. Quote, Wonder Woman is a queer and trans icon. In response to those who refuse to acknowledge Wonder Woman's influence in LGBTQ plus circles, the beloved Wonder Woman star firmly stated that the golden lasso-wielding goddess is a queer and transgender icon she would know after all. Linda Carter said, "You're right, she's a superhero for bisexuals. Wonder Woman," and then somebody, Amber, said, "Wonder Woman is not a superhero for gays." And Linda Carter said, I didn't write Wonder Woman, but this is Linda Carter speaking. But if you want to argue that she is somehow not a queer or trans icon, then you're not paying attention. Every time someone comes up to me and says that Wonder Woman helped them while they were closeted, it reminds me how special the role is. I love seeing all the love from LGBTQ fans today for me, Linda Carter. Now here's one I call the ready to fight your homophobic relatives. Yay! Happy Pride. So excited to celebrate with all my LGBTQ plus A plus friends and fans. Art by Paulina Gaucho for DC Comics. What the hell?
All right. First of all, when she did that show back in the 70s, which every little boy like me watched, there wasn't a hint of bisexual or lesbianism.
Right.
It was pure. She was all over Lyle Wagner. That was the whole thing. They couldn't do that back then. She is not, in her version of Wonder Woman, is not
Right.
any icon to anything. But she's absolutely right that the comic book hero is. The comic book hero is bisexual and also an icon in the sadomasochistic because the guy
Ooh,
who
now
wrote
what-
it, there's a movie made. Viggo Mortensen starred as the guy who made up Wonder Woman. He was basically into masochism and women being submissive to him. He had like a wife and a girlfriend at the same time. And the whole thing about the lasso and being tied up was about sadomasochism.
Well, that's not gay.
Well, it's always been. She came from the Amazons, who are all lesbians.
I don't know anything about their. I get it, Amazon women, yeah.
So
but I didn't know about
Gadot
this.
one could be basically
Yeah.
they could do it that way, even though once again she's with Chris Pine and everything.
Yeah.
But Linda Carter's just trying to virtue signal. And when I read that, I unfollowed her.
Really?
'Cause I thought, okay, you're
what the
trying to-
hell is this? You know, you
She's
don't
trying to
have
be
to
relevant.
you don't have to do something for Gay Pride Week to show that you're woke.
No, she wants to be relevant again because no one thinks about her
she's
much.
7. Well, how old? She's got to be 70 years old,
I know.
63 or 4.
Good looking for that.
Well, now here's what you're not going to like. She was not good looking at all. She got a mouth like a torn pocket, bad legs. I mean, that's like 2 out of 3.
Oh my God.
Now, if you're a boob man, she's got a set of knockers, and that good for her. But she has really
was Wonder Woman for
not
a
good
reason.
legs, and
They don't put
had a
ugly women in the Wonder
terrible
Woman
mouth.
role.
I mean, her mouth is just all ripped and sideways and everything. I'm sorry, it just had no appeal to me at all.
What do you think of Gal Gadot?
Well, she's too big. I mean, she's a giant. I don't like the big giants like the runway 6-footers
Wonder Woman
and
has
stuff.
to be a giant.
Gal Gadot, I know. Well, you're asking me what I thought about Gal Gadot as a character, and I did see that movie, the 1984 or whatever.
Oh no, you see the first. The 84 one was horrible.
Well, I saw
you see
the one.
first one.
I saw the one. I've seen the ones with Gal Gadot.
You've seen both of them.
I believe I've seen both of them.
Well,
Where one starts off as a little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
saw
a
it.
good movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. No, it's a great movie. And, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was a good action movie, and I bought into it, and it was fun to watch. But again, if you had her lined up with. A couple of little Asian, gymnastics queens or something. I'd be picking the Asian gymnastics queen and not Gal Gadot. I'm just saying,
But you get egg roll.
but she's a beautiful woman, no question about
her
it. But not
face
my
is
type.
amazing.
We're just not that means anything. And I'm sorry, I'm talking like a guy.
But Wonder Woman is, unfortunately, not unfortunate, but she has always been an icon for lesbians, bisexuals, and the sadomasochist crowd.
Well, the island of Lesbos, but I didn't know anything about sadomasochism stuff.
In fact, there's, like I said, there was a book and a movie out of it with Viggo Mortensen starring as the guy who's the cartoonist who did it, and his life was
I've
crazier
never
than
heard
the
of that.
comics.
I can't believe I've never heard of that movie.
It kind of got buried a little bit.
guess it did.
I think DC or
Viggo
somebody.
Mortensen was great in that Eastern Promises. Oh, gee. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
That's a hard movie right there. That's a great movie, but it's a hard movie.
The naked fighting scene in
Oh,
the
I know. Thank you. Why,
bathhouse.
they didn't need to do that.
That
You know
had
what?
to hurt.
Well, but I kept thinking they don't really need this
that,
scene.
That was a great scene. I'm sorry. It's real
No,
uncomfortable.
it wasn't.
It's a great scene.
I kept holding my balls the whole time. I'm going, oh no, geez,
No.
God, the guy's into the linoleum tile floor in the shower, banging
Marble
it
floor.
on.
Ugh.
Oh, thank you.
That's like a fear of mine. Slipping in some place like that and falling and hitting your head.
Oh,
or
it's not good. Not
that's
good.
just bad.
Oh, brutal.
Not that I'd ever be in a place like that.
No, wouldn't even have me as a member. A couple quick things. I have added a couple of cooking segment Facebook posts. And Flounder, what do you got there?
Yes.
What do you do?
Color on the flag.
Outstanding. Well done, Flounder.
Show everybody with the camera there. Our American flag was gray for a while, and I'm wondering why is it gray? And Flounder got it fixed with the mic. Did Mike
Flounder,
do that
you're
for
the
us?
man.
Mike did it for us.
Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you, Mike.
Beautiful American flag. Red, white, and blue, baby.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
It really is a beautiful
It
flag.
pops, baby. It pops.
You know,
And then
I
on Wednesday and probably starting Friday or the following week, we're going to have 2 cameras, and they're going to be stationed, so it'll be a lot nicer setup.
Oh, my
good
God.
Lord.
Well, we're going to try to make this as entertaining as we can because it's just us. I've got a couple of Facebook videos. I thought I would show you the difference between making. Do you like English muffins?
Not
English
really.
muffins, not really. Flounder? And now the 2 famous ones that I know about are Bay's and Thomas's. Thomas's have the little nooks and crannies, and they are not refrigerated. In the store, you find them on the bread shelf out in the open. The Bay's English muffins are in the dairy section, and I like those better. I like them. They have sourdough and whole grain, which I hate, or the regular, which I like. But anyway, and I couldn't find the Bay's are sometimes hard to find. They don't stock them out. Yeah, oh, they're great. I mean, to me, I love Bays, and they're in the dairy section near the eggs and stuff like
Are
that.
they really English?
I think they might be. I don't know, but I really like them. What the hell was? So I was running. I only had a couple left, and I went to the store and I didn't have any Bays, so I bought some Thomas's. So this morning for kicks, I toasted Thomas's and Bays in the toaster oven to see what anything would happen. And sure as shooting, the Bays toasted about twice as fast as the Thomas's. I don't know why. But I thought I would pass that along as a little cooking tip just to save you time and
do you put
effort.
anything on your English muffin?
I do. In fact, lately, well, since you asked, I will normally, if I'm doing like a quick breakfast thing to go and say, normally I would butter the English muffin. I take like 2 of them, or 2 halves, and I would butter them, and then I would put on shredded multi kinds of cheese, like the 4 flavor shredded, Mexican cheese, whatever, and put those on and put them back in there for 20 seconds and melt that out and have some cheese English muffins. Lately, here's the other thing. Pete and I talked about this privately and on the air. When Jif recalled its peanut butter.
I got to turn mine back in.
Pete had, and I looked at mine, and I had half the numbers. Anyway, so because Jif there was some spoilage or something or other, called some tummy stuff. So now at the store, there's no Jif. They took them all back. So I said, wait a minute, there was only like one lot.
No, it was a whole list.
Yeah, I know, but still, they're all gone. I mean, so I went to, lately I've been putting peanut butter on the English muffins, and I found for some reason I
do that. I do peanut butter, and then I topple a little honey on it.
I don't do that, but I do. I put butter and then peanut butter, and for some reason, it helps me last longer through the midday. And I feel, it's like having oatmeal or something for some reason, and it really
Sticks
gives
to
me
your ribs.
Well, it really does, and for some, and I feel it's a little heartier, and it's enough protein and a little fat, but it's enough protein to get, anyway. So that's what I've been doing in English muffins, and I thought just for the hell of it, I couldn't believe the difference. What's the matter?
Sometimes
Yes.
when you're about to tell one of these stories, maybe you should just stop for a second and think, if someone else was telling me this story,
look, I got this
would I
meeting.
be able to stay
I'm double
awake?
parked. I think that's my car alarm. Oh, crap.
Mom,
sorry.
Mom's calling
All
me.
right, one more. Oh, there's my phone. It's on buzz. Yeah, you can't hear it. And I made a meatloaf. And, of course, Dork Boy over here doesn't want any. I thought you liked meatloaf.
I don't
You
like.
just don't feel like it?
I don't like twice transported meat.
I got you. Yeah, you are kind of not a sanitary kind
mother
of
used to say you're
anal retentive kind of a
No,
guy.
nicety nice, as she used to call it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about that.
You're kind of a little fastidious when it comes to
When it comes to
germs
food.
and food and stuff.
Not germs, but food.
Yeah. Well, anyway, now I made a meatloaf, and so I took a picture of it, and I put that on Facebook too, by the way. And I took a thing of mustard and put USMC on the top of the meatloaf just for hell. So
What was that?
I don't know. Just to put it on the
was
video.
it mustard you wrote it in?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
And by the way, Flounder, I made this with a slightly different recipe. Sometimes I'll make a meat, and again, I don't cook. I know I do 2 things. I can make a meatloaf. I can make my great egg salad. I make a great potato salad and thingy wingies with tuna fish and egg salad together with cheese. But anyway, so I made a meatloaf, and normally frequently I'll put ground round and pork mixed up together. They didn't have any pork at the store yesterday, so when I just got the beef. But this time I put in 3 eggs instead of 2, and I put in a little extra ketchup instead of what they said, and then I put in a whole, like half a cup of brown sugar. And I mix it up in there, and so I think it came out great. And then I put seasoning and garlic powder, and I chopped up onions myself.
Flounder?
What's that?
Did you bring any?
Yeah, I brought my nice chunk. I think you'll like that chunk of meatloaf. And anyway, there you go. So I made a meatloaf, and plus
meatloaf. Damn you!
Well, I've still got some left, but it'll be by Friday, Monday.
I'll go to Whole Foods. They have some.
Yeah, but in my and of course I made my rice and my gravy, my Pioneer gravy, and so I have a great meal, and it's so freaking delicious. I mean, it's just you put gravy on meatloaf and rice. Oh my God!
I know. It's good stuff.
And by the way, I gained 2 pounds back, and I lost them again. I'm back. I'm literally 21 pounds lighter than I was 2 months ago.
Topic on there?
Sorry, topics. Like the tortoise and the hare, boys. We are going to be successful one day because I'm confident it's going to work. The story of the tortoise and the hare. Now that we are linked to Extra 106.3.
That's right.
They have us on their podcast park.
Yes, sir.
And I guess when they get clicks, it amounts to money coming in from something, or
the podcast park,
the podcast park. And so now we are now getting a residual.
What?
Remember last month, I believe I brought you both $18.
Whoa!
For the month of March. Well, you'll be happy to know that for the month of April, we went down a little. For the month of April, the three of us each got $16.38. But for the month of May, we went back up. We got each $26.96 for a grand total of $43.34.
Cha-ching.
And I forgot to bring it. I'll write you a check. Anyway, for some reason they sent it to me, so I'm just going to be my personal money to give it to you. But anyway, so now we're $43.34 richer than we were. So there you are.
It's going to get better. And that's why people listen to Extra and click on there. It's more money for everybody.
And again, it's a way to save you, our audience and friends, from having to pay anything. But you can help us by getting involved with us and telling your friends or whatever. And again, we're trying to keep this going because at some point it's going to fall on its own weight. But that's no, it's okay.
No,
it'll be fine. Winner kiver. I'm begging you. Especially I got to put this video on Facebook the other day too. $5.20 a gallon.
Where?
Exxon.
Don't go to Exxon.
$5.20 a gallon. I put it on Facebook, showing the thing clicking away. 7 gallons. It was almost $50. It was like $45,
and
$7.
That son of a bitch today had the ball.
Yeah.
Biden.
Listen to this.
Quote.
This is, by the way, 3 days in a row they seem the same theme.
Since I took office, families are carrying less debt. Their average savings are up. More Americans feel financially comfortable.
Yeah.
What world is he living in?
Their talking points are people are in less debt, salaries are higher, they have more money to spend, and there are more jobs.
The 401ks.
Yeah. What's he talking? I mean, they're just saying it.
Well, it's like I told you before. It's 1984, where they say,
just say the big lie.
Don't believe your eyes and ears yourself. Only believe what the government tells you.
Trust us. I mean, they just say it.
It's just a pure ass. It's the Obama started that.
Yeah.
There's a problem. I'll give a speech, and then I don't have to worry about it anymore because I gave a speech. It's fixed.
Well, he talks like a white guy. You know, he's clean.
Okay,
doesn't smell,
Joe
and
Biden.
he talks like a white guy. So Joe Biden supported him.
The stock market's down 288 right now.
Oh,
It was down 300 earlier.
Who's the new press secretary? John.
Jajine or some freaking thing.
Yeah, but have you noticed anytime she gets asked a question, she pretty much looks in her book and answers that has nothing to do with the question.
She's a joke.
So it's the same thing. I mean, the whole administration is doing the same thing.
Well, the first comments out of her head when she was given this position, I know that I'm the first trans and gay and, I mean, she didn't even talk about her job, what an honor it is to serve the President of the United States. She talked about how special I am that I'm the first trans gay black woman. It's its job, anyway.
Breaking news here, by the way.
Oh, there is? Well, let's do that right now.
Georgia County ballot machines were off by thousands when they hand counted the vote afterwards. The first place candidate dropped to third place after the hand count.
Was that DeKalb County?
Yeah, it was DeKalb County.
Yeah. Was it state representative or school board? I can't remember what the office
School
was.
board member.
Yeah. And it was way off. Wasn't even close. Went from 1 to 3.
Thousands off, yeah.
But, nothing wrong. Everything's fine here in Georgia.
Everything's great.
Oh, Lord.
On a funny note, Mark Harvey on YouTube, who's watching us right now, just said, I just noticed Pete's legs look like 2 2x4s painted white.
I am.
Gross.
You can register me. I am a white
I'm telling
boy.
you, man, you need to.
This is white boy summer right here.
That's oak right there. That's pine. That's birch tree right there, my friends.
Yeah.
You got a tanning bed right under you in your apartment complex.
Yeah, but it's full of, let's just say strippers.
Oh.
Ooh, so
Well, then
What's
again,
full of strippers?
yeah.
Remember we used to sit across the street and watch the strippers go in and out of the tanning
I
salon?
thought you meant they were all living there now or something.
Well, might as
Oh, I
well.
was going to say, you got to...
I will go with the pool more
Any
often.
openings with a balcony?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hell, where's my sheet? I lost my sheet. Oh, just a quick shout out to another Aussie friend. Again, you know that Chrissy's been watching in Australia. And Karen Cruz. Karen is in Sydney, Australia, and apparently a fan of the podcast.
Excellent.
And thank you so much. Again, people all around the world. And a big fans. And again, I'm thrilled that they're fans mostly of the horse videos. So if they come on the podcast or Facebook page to watch horse videos, fine by me. If you enjoy the podcast, great. But again, the more you click in or be part of it, the better off we are.
It always astounds me when we hear from people from Australia. Because one, the government's trying to kill them for
Yeah.
a few years now. And
Lock 'em up.
everything that walks and crawls there is designed to kill human beings.
Yeah, I mean, they're serpents. They aren't snakes. They're serpents. I mean, they're,
The spiders are this big.
You can't-
And they wait for you to come home.
yeah, although you gotta love the women. Women from Australia. Have you ever met they're all. I mean, every woman I've met from Australia. I used to work with one here in
looking.
Atlanta years ago. Are great looking and they're fun and they're tough and they're they're a man's woman. I mean, they don't take a lot of crap off people, but they're still sweet. I don't know. It's just a generalization. Sorry, I don't mean to lump you into one category. No, I like being reduced to a cultural stereotype. Sorry, the Woody Allen movie. Remember that little hottie, little chunky little hottie? No, so I'm guessing what Jewish summer camps and Benoit balls. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Is that a Jewish thing?
Not a bit.
All right, hold everything. Kyle Rittenhouse back in the news. Also, you're going to hear from and about Joe Rogan, the Johnny Depp verdict, and his business about how distressing for the Me Too movement. Kiss my foot. Yeah, please.
And it was one woman came out and said, this is a horrible note for black women. It's like, Amber Heard is like the least black woman ever made. What does this got anything to do with black
and
people?
Amber and Johnny really care about the plight of American black women, I guess.
What the hell?
Again, it's 1984. They're just saying shit, and you have to suppose, oh my God, I never thought of it. Duh, you never thought of it because there's no meaning in reality. Oh God, I'm dying. I'm freaking dying. But first, holy crap, it's real estate. Yes, it's true. Our buddy Joe Huggins. If you have questions about real estate and the market, what's going on now, ask Joe Huggins with Keller Williams. You can buy your dream home first and then take like 6 months to sell. With our Kimmer fan, JoeHugginsRealtor.com. Again, Realtors, REALTOR. JoeHugginsRealtor.com. Don't forget, if you want to get a cash offer in today's market, check with Joe Huggins with Keller Williams. Here's a phone number, 770-599-5750. Unreal service with real estate from Joe Huggins. JoeHugginsRealtor.com. And in fact, I think there may be some new copy. I hope I didn't leave out anything. I forgot to write some stuff down. I probably got it wrong. In fact,
You should be reading it off your phone. The new stuff's on your phone.
All right. Well. In fact,
Sorry, Joe.
did you email that to me?
Yeah,
I think
this
you
is
emailed
what
it
happens
to me.
when you farm it out.
All right. Hold. Yeah.
You outsource it.
Here we go.
Here's
No,
what
that's Ronald
happens.
Reagan. Where the hell's the one you sent me?
Oh my God.
Lauren Tiffany, Brent Dunn, George I. Partners, Alpharetta, Experian. I think you.
I sent it to you.
Well,
I'll send it again.
Anyway, all right, Joe, we'll take care of you. We'll make sure everything's taken care of. Kyle Rittenhouse is fighting the big boys. Apparently, he has hired the attorney who also represented Nicholas Sandman. Remember the kid who was the Covington student in the smiling standoff with that drunken Indian who was thrown out of the Marines? He was a drunken Indian who was such a drunk they kicked him out of the Marine Corps. And he was the one with the drum and beating the drum. And Nick Sandman was just smiling the whole time. Didn't say anything, do anything. And they slandered and libeled him. They called him a white supremacist and vicious stuff. Affected his getting into college, going anywhere. I mean, it just ruined him. He's sued, and he's won a whole bunch of stuff from a whole bunch of people. Well, his lawyer's now working with a team with Kyle Rittenhouse, who was, of course, charged with being a mass murderer in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Well, Kyle Rittenhouse is apparently now targeting at least 12 or 15 more big-time people, including, first up on the list, Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah. Because Facebook labeled him as basically a mass murderer, a rioter. I mean, and again, his point is he can't go anywhere. Mm-hmm. He can't go to Target. He can't go to Publix. He can't go to the store. They're all over him. He has to go everywhere with a bodyguard. I mean, think about that. I mean, really, he can't go anywhere.
I know.
If they see him in traffic driving and stop at a stoplight, screaming and yelling. I mean, my God.
Who would recognize? I wouldn't recognize him if he walked by me. I wouldn't be paying attention that much. Would you?
Well, no. But I think if I saw him, I think I'd recognize him. But again, if they know where he lives, I mean, I can see how it must be impossible. He has to have a bodyguard everywhere, calling him a mass murderer, for God's sakes. Well, he's going to take on Mark Zuckerberg, and his lawyers are saying, man, we've got some pretty strong cases because it's right there in black and white. And it's right there in video. You can watch these people calling him a mass murderer and white supremacist and all this other stuff.
Yeah, they never took any of those videos down.
What's that?
They never took any of those videos down.
Yeah, right. That isn't hate speech. Again, these are the people who want to determine what hate speech is. They are hate speech. How about a little Joe Rogan? I made this point on the radio this morning, and I was only kind of joking and teasing around, really. But I heard Joe Rogan was doing a podcast the other day. I heard a segment, and he made a comment that I've been saying from the beginning when all this business took over with the socialists, because I'm old enough to remember, and you are too, I think. Flounder really isn't, but I'm old enough to remember when freedom of speech was more particularly apt concerning the left in this country than it was conservatives. Love it or leave it. I mean, again, I lived through it in the 60s and 70s when that all changed. Vietnam, civil rights, the hippie movement, free love, hating your parents. I mean, all that happened in a period of 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And in that period, it was the liberals who were, you can't stop me from saying what I want. And I've been, we talk about it all the time. I complain about it, that everything's upside down. The liberals are now in favor of censorship. They don't want to have free speech because they don't like what you have to say. That's so anti-American. And I guarantee you, I mean, even my kids, if I were to ask them, well, do you think it's wrong to have, Donald Trump's comments about what he believes to be, oh, no, they shouldn't be allowed because it affects people and stuff. I mean, they really believe that. How did that happen?
Did you see a New Jersey congressman yesterday in Congress?
Yeah.
Saying, don't give me any more of this bullshit about
black
constitutional rights. I don't think he's black. He's Italian.
Oh, well, there's the two of them. The black guy said, if we're going to do this with the guns, and if you don't like it, we're going to expand the Supreme Court, and we're going to get rid of the filibuster. And he said, you can't stop us. We're going to do whatever we want.
Sounds like an insurrection.
What's that?
Sounds like an insurrection.
Yeah, it's exactly an insurrection. And the Republican comment was, oh, so you have no interest in negotiating? You don't want to come to an agreement in a law? You're just going to do whatever you want? I mean, that's their attitude. But the reason I'm mentioning this whole topic is because of Joe Rogan. And it's good to see that Joe Rogan, who's a great deal younger than I am, has made the point also about freedom of speech being flipped. And Flounder, do you have that section for us here at your convenience, sir? A little Joe Rogan?
Think of when I thought of the left. I thought of like professors and intellectuals and these people that would sit down and work through things with the understanding that free speech is like one of the most important aspects of communication possible, and communication is everything. Communication is how we work things out. Like this idea of not talking to people you disagree with. Well, guess what? That just galvanizes them. They just get hardened and they move further and further away, and we get more and more associated with this idea of left and right and good and bad and 1 and 0, and this side does not agree with anything that side says. That's crazy.
I didn't hear all of that, but I'm sure it was perfect.
Did you not hear that? It was,
What's that?
Yeah.
No, it's just my thing. But again, I finally, and again, Bill Maher. In fact, I think he was on. Was it last night or maybe it's on tonight? He's showing up on places like Fox, and Jesse Waters is having people on to say, even the liberals are fine. I mean, maybe it's happening. Maybe there's momentum. But thank God.
The young don't believe
But
it.
the young don't believe it. And again, I thought, where did I go wrong? Well, of course, being a divorced father, although that's not an excuse for them growing up with liberal. They went to liberal schools. Or, they lived when I had to move to San Francisco, and when I was they were in Chicago. And then in college, liberal colleges. Jennifer went to Colorado State, and Sarah went to University of Wisconsin, and so. But that they truly believe that it's wrong for people to say things that they don't think are right, which is horrifying.
Well, it's their world they're making. They're going to have to live in.
Yeah,
and they're screwing it up for their kids.
I know. That's.
When you have Ricky Gervais and Bill Maher and all of them saying you're insane if you want to get rid of the First Amendment, and they still, and like I said, that congressman from New Jersey saying, I don't want to hear any more bullshit about your constitutional rights. That's what they think.
Right.
They don't care about the Constitution.
Right. Well, Biden keeps saying it's not written in stone. It's not absolute.
It is in my house.
It's pretty much written in stone as far as I'm concerned.
I always say, you can change it as soon as you've proved to me you're smarter than the founding fathers.
Yeah, right.
Are you smarter than Ben Franklin or Thomas Jefferson? Because if you are, go for it.
Yeah, they sure thought of a living constitution that protect. Again, the way my favorite thing is the Second Amendment. It doesn't say that I have the right to have a gun. It says I have a right to make sure that the government can't stop me from having a gun. That's the way they put it. It wasn't that we have God-given rights. I mean, they said we're human beings. Here are the things you can't do to us. Your government cannot take my gun. Right. Which is different from saying I have a right to have a gun despite what the government says.
All the amendments are basically telling you what your individual liberties are that you're born with.
Right.
And the liberals would like to tell you, but not that second one. They skipped that one.
Well, then, for example, there's a constitutional right to not have some members of the Army decide they need to take over your territory and start living in your house.
Quartering.
I mean, there's a whole, the freedoms we enjoy, which most people have no idea. I'll bet you 90% of all of us could not mention not only the 10 Amendments, but
Jay Leno would go out in the streets of L.A. and ask people questions. They had no clue.
Oh God, I saw.
And there's another one that was out
Jesse
the other day.
Waters last night. He has this. Well, he's very effeminate. He's a very nice guy. He's very smart. He's a guy who goes out on the street and does it. Have you ever seen his man on the street interview? Oh, you got to watch the end of Jesse Waters or some point in there. No. It's funny. He had this beautiful woman on. I mean, hot chick, 20-year-old hot chick. And he goes, and it's a very effeminate, well, what do you think about the economy? Kind of a thing. And it's really funny. He's a good guy and he's smart. And he knows how to ask the questions. He goes up to these girls on the street and this little hottie 20-year-old. And he said, what is inflation? And she said, inflation. God, is that inflation? And she was stumped.
Blow up a balloon? That's inflation.
I mean, it's hysterical. But again, this is what we have. This public education.
Schools. Yeah.
Oh, God. And for another example of something just in my craw today. The liberals are, some liberals, many screamers, are complaining that the Johnny Depp verdict, where, now he has to pay her $2 million and she has to pay him $15 million, but the Johnny Depp verdict, which basically called Amber Heard responsible for saying bad things about Johnny Depp, and therefore they believe the jury didn't believe her that she was abused. They called the verdict against her that she wasn't abused a setback for the Me Too movement.
What?
Yeah. What Me Too movement is that again? Which one is that?
It's still around?
Is that the one where Joe Biden came up behind a woman on his staff and did something absolutely disgusting? And when she said, he said, oh, what's the matter? I thought you liked me. Remember that? He said, she tested him and she said, well, he said, oh my God, what's the matter? I thought you liked me. And she was horrified. And even Vice President's side piece, Carmela, a celebrity escort, remember when they asked all the people when that story broke, and it didn't break very long and it didn't go very far, but the liberal media wouldn't cover it, but somebody did finally, and they asked Carmela Sidepiece about it when she was running against him. This broke when he was not elected president yet, and she said, "Well, oh no, we have to believe the woman, but I also know Joe Biden." There you are.
What does that mean?
Yeah. So there you are. I mean, so what? Me too. Women kiss my ass. I have 2 daughters and 2 granddaughters, and so I'm a guy who's an old-fashioned fuddy-duddy who believes in protecting women. I stand when a woman enters a room and hold out her chair and say, I'm an old-fashioned guy about that, including protecting my women. And so this business of the Me Too, where it's all totally political, absolutely political. If it's against a Republican, we got to believe the woman. The Blasey Ford liar with a letter and showing up in the hearing for the Supreme Court. Oh my God! I mean, it's just you got to believe the woman. Got to believe the woman. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
I'm sorry, you don't.
Everybody has known a woman that was a liar.
Yeah, and men. I mean, nobody. You can't make a statement that says you have to believe a particular gender. Wait, who came up with that? Again, it's like, defund
women.
the police. What are you talking about? I have to believe the woman.
And all police are all police are assholes. Is that the thing?
Yeah, right.
And then all women are pure and never lie.
Right. Come on, please. I mean, what a joke. I mean, it's offensive. It's absolutely
there are
offensive.
women out there who need to be slapped across the room.
Well,
I'm sorry. If a woman's coming after you with something in her hand or something to do something, she's going to do damage or something. This whole thing you never hit a woman is bullcrap.
I've told you the 2 times I was violent with a woman, and I was attacked both times. One of them with a knife.
I know, so yeah.
So what? And I was in a very bad place at the time too. I was 20 years old.
It was a couple hours ago. Before you got here. I was out in the street.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate situation.
Behind the Dunkin' Donuts over there.
Maybe she misunderstood the situation. I don't know what that was all about.
We're not saying you should go out and hit women.
No,
we're not.
no.
I'm a Southern gentleman. I'm not raised that way. But don't tell me there aren't times where one doesn't need to be smacked.
Well, I mean, if she's we all know that. It's ridiculous.
And I don't mean about something small or
No,
petty.
no,
You guys
I mean
ever-
something major.
Who's the white comedian Bill Barr?
Yeah.
He has a really
Bill Burr.
funny Bill Burr. I'm sorry. He has a really funny bit where he's like, it's like people saying you don't ever hit a woman. You don't ever hit a woman. There's 100 fucking reasons I could hit a woman. You just don't do it. You just don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah. By the way, if you haven't ever heard his stand-up routine about when he goes to see his black girlfriend in Harlem, on the train, he says, all of a sudden I'm on the train, I'm going to see her, and I start seeing the stops Danny Glover Avenue, and I get real nervous, I start getting real scared.
The only white guy on the train.
Yeah, I'm the only guy. Look like Howdy Doody. They're going to come and beat me. I mean, he's freaking fun. I haven't heard him in 10 years, I guess, but since he was on Breaking Bad. I showed up as the inspector of
There's
Breaking
an old
Bad.
Lou Reed song from Velvet Underground where he had to meet his heroin dealer up in Harlem. And he talks about going up there, and the black guys come up to him, "What you doing up here, white boy? You
Yeah.
trying to chase all the women around?" He's going, "Oh, no, sir, no, sir.
Believe me.
I'll be gone as soon as I get my fix."
I mean, Bill Burr, it's really hysterical. And he said, of course, I look like Howdy Doody anyway, And anyway, I really used to admire. I haven't heard him in a long time, but I assume he's still around, and I think he's still working. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, he does. He was on Bill Maher once and a few times, I guess, and he does a lot. By the way, I started watching the Norm Macdonald special last night, the last one on Netflix, where he's basically sitting in his living room and on the computer and talk. And he's just talking, and
Really?
he did it in one take.
Wow,
It's amazing.
And it's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. Yeah, that and the Ricky Gervais thing are both on Netflix right now. It's pretty cool.
Excellent. A moment to speak about the Queen. Man, almost every minute for hours, Fox TV News covered nothing but the Queen. All the entire ceremony.
It's the end of an era.
Well, she's still alive.
It'll never happen again, though. Something like this will never happen again.
Well, I don't know. Let's
They'll be lucky to have a monarchy in 20 years.
You don't think? Oh, you think this is it?
No,
you don't think there's gonna be a King Charles?
They'll put a Charles in there, and they may put
And then William.
But after that, I don't know.
Well, Harry probably is not going to be king.
Oh hell no, he'll never be.
Yeah,
king.
he may even be a member of the
They
royal
didn't let
again.
him. They didn't let him on the balcony.
I know. He and Meghan. By the way, did you hear when they left the ceremony? They got booed. When Harry and Meghan, Prince Harry and Meghan, the princess, left the service today, or it was later. Yesterday. It's their time today. The crowd booed them, and then when William and Kate walked out, they were cheered like they were rock stars. And then that's the British public right there. That's exactly how they feel.
They wouldn't let Kim Kardashian anywhere near it.
I know. They couldn't take the pressure. But the coverage of the Queen, God, it was nonstop, which is fine. Although I will say this, at the very beginning of it, they had like 230 of the most beautiful horses you've ever seen. They looked like Jack. They were just big, thick neck and great strides, and were just stomping around. Big. I don't think they were. There were some Clydesdales. I'm sure there were some Percherons like Jack. I mean, they were just gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful animals, hundreds of them. And I watched part of the circumstance. She's 96, the Queen. What was happening is called Trooping the Color, a military parade that has marked each sovereign's official birthday since 1760. So I'm guessing they're probably going to keep it up. 1760?
That's a lot of money.
Oh my God, it must have been millions and millions. And they were all there. I mean, all in their beautiful costumes and the vehicles and the horses.
I'm torn. First of all, did we send anybody?
Oh, yeah.
Who was there for us?
Oh, you mean as a country representative?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I'm torn.
I
have a picture of the Queen that I got when I was in London. I got it in my refrigerator. Okay, it's cool. Every once in a while, I'll say something to the Queen. Oh, sorry you had to see that Queen or something like that. But I'm torn between either she's the nicest old lady in the world who's been just a fantastic monarch through some horrible times for England.
Yeah.
Or she's this Machiavellian, richest woman in the world who has people killed, including family members.
Well,
which is it?
I think it's. I think you have some closeness in version number 2. They say. Well, I mean, look at her. The way she handles her children. It's not like she's a loving.
If you watch The Crown, it really points that out, how Andrew was her favorite, and she didn't get along with Charles ever.
She's not a warm, sweet Grammy. I mean, she's the freaking queen. I mean, you can't be raised where, I don't know whether they still do, but they used to have people who would take care of their sanitary needs.
I think they do. Yeah. They still
God.
do.
So I mean, you're raised like that your whole life, literally your whole life. It'd be kind of hard to be sweet and humble with your kids. Although the little 4-year-old kid apparently stole the show with his making faces and stuff. But again, she's kind of, I don't think the way she handled the Charles and Diana divorce situation was particularly warm and friendly either.
They screwed that. They acted like it was still 1940.
Yeah, and she finally kind of had to come forward and be partially decent about it. But I was not impressed with the way she handled it.
In fact, the Prince Philip was nicer to Diana for most of the time than the Queen was. She was afraid of the Queen.
Yeah.
They didn't get along. And the Prince was actually nice to her, but at the end he turned against her because she was messing with the family.
Well, and Prince Charles, as far as I'm concerned, is responsible for Diane dying. I mean, he caught. Can you? How could you possibly have not been willing to somehow at least partially fall in love with that woman compared to Carmela Bowley Bow?
If you watch that show, The Crown, it explains why. It does.
Well, because she had sex with him when he was 14, and they were sexual partners and hanging around together as best friends.
There was a love triangle. His sister, the princess, was having an affair with the husband of
for
Carmela.
God's sakes.
So it was like a love triangle thing going on between them.
It's just so offensive. And that poor, who, I don't know. I guess Kate Middleton. I hope to. I hope Kate Middleton and William are. I don't care about the royal family, but I hope, if anything else, I hope they are happy and together and fine and everything else. They look pretty good. By the way, this was the day that Wallace Simpson actually got married after the king left his post for her several years earlier, several months earlier. Yeah, all right.
Piece of crap.
Yeah, that's right. I gave up the throne. Let's see.
There would have been no Queen Elizabeth if he hadn't done that.
Yeah, probably. I guess that's true. Yeah.
Well, if he would have had if he'd have stayed as king and had a son, then that son would have, or that daughter would have been, not Elizabeth.
Right. Okay, shall we talk about guns? Wow. I tried to watch President Gurley Parts last night, and I can't. I mean, he can't even read the teleprompter any better than he used to anymore. It's getting worse and worse. Really pretty pathetic, stumbling and bumbling. I guarantee you that not one of all those people who talk about weapons of war know what a weapon of war is. In fact, I made a point on the radio talking this morning that, weapons of war, of course, I'm an old timer, so weapons of war to me, when I was at Paris Island, we were trained with an M14. At Camp Lejeune, they gave us M1 Garands just to march around with and shoot in the range and stuff. But then the M16, stuff like that. I don't have any idea what the modern Marine Corps or Army uses as a modern weapon, today's weapon. I have no idea.
Lasers.
I mean, I'm serious. I don't know what the designation is. Is it a 45 caliber? Is it a 9mm? Is it an automatic rifle? Is it interchange? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it's. I don't know who makes it. I don't know anything about any weapons in the modern Marine Corps and Army today.
I think they changed the handgun a few years ago.
Oh, I know they did that. Marine Corps did that too, and I think they went from a Glock to a Beretta or vice versa. I can't remember. But anyway, again, the point, I don't know. I guarantee you, those Congress people who are demanding we get rid of the weapons of war, they don't know what a weapon of war is, and it's certainly not an AR-15. No country is using an AR-15 as a weapon of war. It's a rifle, a one-shot rifle. That's no good in wartime. I mean, these people are idiots. It's like taking a 30-06 or something into battle. I mean, my God. Anyway, they don't know what the hell weapons of war are. And President Pecker Canyon gives his speech. I guarantee you, he says, well, you have to be at least 21 years old to be able to buy an assault rifle. Well, okay, then you have to be 21 years old to buy a rifle. Because any rifle that fires one bullet at a time is there, depending on how it looks, is an assault rifle. And of course, he wants to cut down on number on magazines, and that would make a difference too, because if you cut certain kinds of magazines, they don't fit into guns that are made for those kinds of magazines. So you're basically taking those guns off the market too.
But the most insidious thing is he wants you to be able to sue gun manufacturers for wrongful death.
Yeah.
Which you can sue gun manufacturers now if it's a defective product that hurts somebody, but you can't do the other. And it's like, okay, so big pharma can kill people, and that's okay. Right. They're immune, but the gun people
or the government's immune from.
And if they pass that, and there'll be hundreds of lawsuits, they'll put them out of business.
Well, relatedly, a woman in the shooting in the New York City subway last month is suing Glock. Claiming that the attack accused the fire manufacturer of reckless disregard for human life. Glock endangered the public health and safety. She was one of the 10 people shot and wounded when the guy fired dozens of bullets. He is pleading Glock is accused of marketing and emphasizing fire rim characteristics. No kidding. That's what the gun's for. It's supposed to shoot a bullet when you pull the trigger. It worked perfectly. I'm sorry. It's like you hit a guy in the head with a hammer and cracked his skull. Damn, who didn't know that? I mean, I'm serious.
You were testifying before Congress right now.
Sorry.
Stop talking.
Your Honor. But but again, it worked perfectly. I'm sorry, but that's the whole freaking point, you numbnuts. By the way, I want to buy some. Have you seen the new Winchester's coming out with a new lung blower 9mm ammo? And by this President Gurley Parts is saying, well, the 9mm will blow the lung right out of your body. Okay, I don't think he's ever fired a weapon. I'll bet he's scared to death of firing a weapon.
Here's the best thing you should do if someone tries to talk to you, some anti-gun nut is trying to talk to you. Rob, who has the Ukraine sign up, says,
yes.
I'm still waiting to hear a legitimate private citizen need for an assault-style weapon. To which Kurt Schlichter replied, I'm still waiting to hear a legitimate private citizen need to explain jack shit to your bitch ass.
Yeah, how about mind your own business? How about that?
We're not debating this.
Yeah, there's not a thing. It's not a. I'm not in that conversation. I have guns, and I'm keeping my guns, and you're welcome to try to come and get them.
We're not Australia, China, and Canada. We're not going to be sheeple pushed around.
Again, it's not my right to have a gun. It's my right to make sure the government cannot take my gun. Has no right to stop me from having a gun.
David Hogg said this in 2019, but it's still pretty relevant.
He was that little turd who pretended he was at the mass shooting,
and then he went home.
And he went home to get his camera. Yeah,
he said, "Remind me how many AR-15s Jesus owned." And someone responded, not enough to avoid being murdered by his own government.
Yeah, right. Could have had a couple more slingshots, maybe. Well, how about Lauren Boebert? I like this chick, the Colorado Congresswoman. Flounder's got a little. Do you have that soundbite?
Yeah, we get it right here.
Okay, she's a Colorado hottie congresswoman, wears glasses, brunette, and she's got a great attitude, real gun nut. And she is thanking the liberals for being so stupid that they're actually helping people who believe in the Second Amendment.
She's
You having
right,
trouble
too.
finding it?
It's right here. I'm just emailing it to myself.
Okie dokie. Anyway, and also coming up, these freaking liberals. I mentioned that one a black guy talking about getting rid of the guns, and he said, if you won't do it, then we're going to pack the court and we're going to stop the filibuster. You're not going to stop us. We're going to do whatever we want. Again, this shows their attitude.
And we'll just repeal it in 2 years.
That's right. I mean,
great.
that's exactly their attitude. And in a minute, you're going to hear another congressman taking on that little pimp, suspected child molester, Eric Swalwell, who basically went on in his hearing yesterday and said, well, it's clear that you conservatives and Republicans would rather have children murdered than have your guns legalized properly in America. You're in favor of murdering children so you can have your gun. Stuff like that. I mean, just appalling kinds of stuff. And we'll get to that reaction first. How about Congressman Boebert? Are we working on that, or are we still okay?
Yeah, you want to play the whole thing? Or?
Well, I mean, it's like a minute and a half or something, I think. They can fast forward if they get bored.
Madam Speaker,
Can you turn it
I
up a
want
little?
to begin this evening by thanking my Democrat colleagues for their outstanding work in encouraging millions of Americans to celebrate their Second Amendment rights by purchasing their first, second, or even 100th firearm. From the left's riots in cities across America to Biden's threats to strip away our basic constitutional rights, Democrats are single-handedly responsible for the sale of tens of millions of firearms. Bravo. Well done. And I hear that the interest has begun to peak when it comes to the sale of F-15s. Now, I have some questions for these freedom haters. When are you going to call on the chief executive, the basement dweller, to hold his own son accountable for his gun crimes? Hunter Biden lied on a federal firearms application, which is punishable by up to 10 years and a $250,000 fine, of which 10% will not be going to the big guy. Rules for thee, but not for my crackhead Parmesan smoking gun criminal son. What about the disposal of Hunter Biden's gun in a back alley dumpster?
Yeah.
And why was the Secret Service involved in locating this firearm? Can you just imagine for half a second if Donald Trump Jr. was involved in firearms crimes and his dad ordered the Secret Service to cover it up? That's just the start of the hypocrisy. Biden will call widely purchased firearms weapons of war, but then he'll tell you that you need an F-15 or a nuke to keep the federal government in check. He will target so-called merchants of death, but celebrate the 600 abortion clinics across America. This regime will encourage riots, defund the police, and try to take away Americans' right to self-defense.
Anyway, Lauren Boebert from Colorado. Wow. I mean, and by the way, it's okay with me if they. Sorry.
If they cough? In the
beg
middle of
pardon.
it? Okay.
It's okay with me if they want to ban actual weapons of war. A weapon of war, machine guns, howitzers, bazooka. I mean, really, Tommy gun, automatic weapon. I can understand. I don't think I have the right to have a bazooka.
I disagree.
Well,
If we are going to fight the government, we're going to need all of those things.
I think I have the right to make one.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Anyway, where says I can't make my own propelling object? I can't make a potato gun. Remember the Wayne Mill fence gave me that huge potato gun? Oh my God, that thing went like a mile.
I've seen your cooking videos. I don't want you making
No,
firearms.
I don't make anything with firearms. Anyway, banning actual weapons of war, fine. Again, I don't even know what they are. And all those people who use that phrase, weapons of war, have no idea what they're talking about. Again, it's talking points, and they all say it, which so you know that's what they're told to say.
By the way, she's a star already, and she's going to be a star. I would recommend to her she work on her speechifying a little bit. She sounded really strident and nervous up there. It's like, that's an important speech.
Yeah.
Nail it. You know?
She needs to be a little more confident.
A little confident in herself, yeah.
I agree.
She
I
is
agree
young, though, so I'm sure she'll get there.
She's great. I love her. It's just, there's a few stumbles and stuff. Just hit it.
Yeah. Now, when that puny, smarmy little turd Eric Swalwell from California got suckered into a honey trap by the Chinese slut spy, he claimed that children are being murdered because of conservatives who would rather have children killed than take care of serious gun control, that we would rather have the right to have children murdered than to have gun control on our own weapons. Well, Congressman Louis Gohmert said, I really don't think that's appropriate there. Flounder, have you got that little soundbite action there? We'll get
That's
Gohmert
what they're
coming
going to
up
use,
here.
gun control and abortion during the
right.
election.
That
That's
it's
all they're going to
very
talk about.
That's all they've got.
For the children to have people on the other side of the aisle come in and accuse Republicans of being complicit in murder, and that we put our right to kill over others' right to live, to infer by rhetorical supposed questions, who are you here for? We must be here for the gunman, is an outrage. How dare you? You think we don't have hearts? It's just that when we look at the things that you're doing and you're trying to do to America, we've seen the carnage. I mean, for heaven's sake, let's take example. Democrats control the major cities that have the worst murder rates. That's right. Your ideas have been shown to get people killed. Are you here for the murderers in Chicago, in Philadelphia, in these other major cities? Because you're wanting to do nationally what is being done by Democrats in those big cities. We care about people. We care about their lives. And lives have been so trivialized. We care deeply. How dare you? How dare you? You arrogant people attributing murder to those of us that want to do things to stop it. Because we've seen what your ideas do. They create more murder. Okay, let's look. Rochester, New York. These are cities that set the all-time high homicide rates in 2021. This is what you're shooting for, apparently, figuratively speaking. Rochester, New York, they had a record homicide rate.
That's fine. Louis Gohmert. Making great points. By the way, ironically, Rochester, New York is the home of one of the most classy and beautiful golf clubs in the world, Oak Hill. Which, anyway, it's got nothing. But it's ironic that it's that little part of New York State is just a beautiful little part of the area.
Why are we listening to people who are basically murder manufacturers in every major city?
Exactly.
Their ideas get people killed.
Yeah, and again, Louis Gohmert made the point. How dare you? I mean, really look at your own backyard, and then how dare you complain that we're the ones? And by the way, if you want to protect the children, protect the schools.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't figure that out?
Quit giving $85 billion to the Taliban.
If you don't allow any security at every school in America where every child is every day for months out of the year, 5 days a week, and you can't protect them with weapons or security or something, then you're going to, of course, I guarantee that kid, if he had seen armed guards patrolling the parking lot of the school, would never have barged in with a gun or wouldn't have gotten very far.
It's a ruling class elite. They have the security and they have the fences around, but they won't do it for the kids.
Yeah. In New York State, they're now going to pass a law raising the age to buy a rifle to 21. Again, they call it a semi-automatic rifle. A semi-automatic rifle is a rifle. A deer rifle, you have to be 21 now in New York to buy a deer rifle. They're going to pass bills that will revise the state's red flag laws, which means that relatives and friends who know you or both suspicious can call the authorities and have them come and investigate you and take your guns until they discover what you're really up to. And they say, well, it's temporary. No. I mean, we're going to pass these red flag laws, but it's not forever. If you're 17, 18, and we're going to come and take your gun, it's not forever. It's temporary. Oh, it's temporary. Yeah. Who determines how temporary and what you have to prove to be? I mean, it's just unbelievable. Now, clearly, the warning signs ought to be heeded. If there were warning signs, do something about it. But you can't pass a law that my ex-wife can call the police and say, I think he's kind of a maniac. Looks like he's going to do something bad.
That's what'll happen.
Jesus. I mean, come on. New York is also going to prevent civilians from buying bulletproof vests. They don't want you to have some protection from the bad guys. Because they're afraid you'll misuse those vests and try to save your own life. Oh, no, I'm supposed to save my own life? Oh, no.
I think most people that buy bulletproof vests probably have something untoward planned.
Well, it's possible. But on the other hand, how
many normal people, walk around with a bulletproof vest?
Well, but where does it say
bounty
you don't have the
hunters.
right to wear a suit of armor?
I know.
Who says I can't have literally a suit of armor made of tin or
I'm
metal?
telling you right, if I'm Elon Musk, I'm building me an Iron Man suit.
I'll tell you.
To walk around in public in.
Yeah, and have a little button that inflates it or whatever.
Pulsar rays.
Jeez. I mean, these people are freaking nuts. Here's how nuts they are.
How nuts are they?
This was absolutely astounding to me. A liberal in Wisconsin has an idea on how he should react to the theory that teachers should be carrying guns in schools. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. His name is James Stearns. He's 72 years old. And he says the proposal to arm teachers in the wake of the mass shooting in Uvalde, Texas, is repulsive. And he will go down in a blaze of glory by shooting lawmakers who want teachers to have guns. He said, if Wisconsin lawmakers ever vote to arm public school teachers, I'm so against teachers having guns, I'll purchase a gun, the most powerful gun I can buy, and go to Madison and shoot as many of those people who vote for this law as I can before someone shoots me. Arming the teachers and administrators, he said, would be the worst possible thing our country or state would ever see, and I'm more than willing to go down in a blaze of glory. If you pass legislation to arm teachers, administrators, and other staff members in Wisconsin, you'll be a dead man in 60 days of passing that legislation. People will hunt you down. Holy God. This is a liberal anti-gun guy who says he's willing to go down in a gunfight to kill all the legislators.
How is he not arrested?
Oh, well, he was arrested.
Okay.
He threatened lawmakers, and he's been charged with making a terroristic threat. Yeah. However, that's probably a misdemeanor. I beg your pardon. He's in charge of one count of terroristic threats, interruption of government operations, a Class 1 felony. Which is, it's not going to be 20 years, but it's a serious crime.
That's closer to an insurrection than what happened in January 6th.
And again, this is a liberal gun hater who doesn't want teachers to be armed, who's willing to murder.
I agree. I don't want teachers armed either. I want armed guards. You know what they're doing? I don't want some liberal teacher who's never held a gun in her life with a damn gun.
Well, I completely agree.
Who doesn't want the gun?
Right. I think we should leave the teachers out of it.
Yeah.
Clearly, the only way to stop all gun violence in America is to get rid of all guns. Okay, we're not going to do that. So the only way to protect children from psychopaths, and let's look at it this way. In the last 2 weeks, we've had how many? 4 shootings?
Yeah,
let's say 4 or 5. Let's say 6. In the last 2 weeks, let's say 6.
6.
Flounder, you didn't say 6. You bastard. All together now.
Everybody, 6. It's been a week. I've been waiting for it.
How many is that all together?
We're all behind you. 100%.
Okay, let's pretend there were 6 shootings. Okay, there are 350 million Americans. 6 people did something really bad in the last 2 weeks. So it's not like America's erupting in a river of bloodshed. Okay, this is. I mean, clearly it's bad. It's too many. It's horrible. But there's a price to pay for liberty. It does mean, unfortunately, that I can legally buy a gun and I could go down the street right now and start killing people.
But you're not going to.
But I'm not going to. But I could. And it's the price you pay for liberty. The only way to get around that is to pay for security.
That same New Jersey representative who basically said, I don't want to hear more BS about your constitutional rights, actually came out and said, look, when was the last time? I don't think it's ever happened. Maybe it has, but I've never heard of it, of a person with a handgun stopping somebody with a rifle. And somebody said it happened a few days ago.
It was
moron.
in West Virginia.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it? West Virginia.
A woman pulled a gun out and shot a guy with a rifle.
A guy was shooting people with a rifle. A woman opened her purse and shot the bastard and killed him. So there you are.
Idiots.
They don't care. They just don't really freaking care. But again, here's a liberal, and he talks about blowing people away and murdering, mass murder, in order to do. Now, speaking of one of those cases, of course, is the case of the school, the Uvalde in Texas. Just as a quick recap, the latest is now apparently that there were state police, border guards, local police, and school police, 4 different jurisdictions. The chief of the school police said he did not ever get a 911 call or information that they were calling from the school. So he didn't know that they were frantically saying, we're getting shot, we're getting shot. He thought it was a hostage situation, which is why he didn't immediately order, just go in there. Okay? So, I mean, I guess he can prove he never got the messages. And, again, it was a breakdown in something. So that's just kind of the latest of that. The Democrat, however, check this out. Senator Roland Gutierrez said the system is a failure. Calls were going to the city police, but not to the school police. He said, and this again, here's the liberal attitude. Here's the liberal attitude about the Texas shooting. This Democrat congressman said, no single person or entity was fully to blame for the massacre.
Never is. Never, no responsibility.
No single person or entity was fully to blame for the massacre, but Governor Greg Abbott should accept much of the responsibility for the failures in the police response. So, gee, I can think of at least one person who's fairly responsible for the massacre. I mean, my God, again, they're just saying, well,
society's to blame. It's a terror
Jesus. Takes a village to race a kid, God, it's outrageous. But that's what they believe. And by the way, speaking of guns and taking care of people, DeKalb County, early in the morning, like 1:45 in the morning on Panthersville Court in DeKalb County, a guy tried to break into somebody else's apartment. The guy in the apartment had a gun and killed the would-be breaker-inner burglar guy. Acted in self-defense, no charges.
Good.
Once again, a handgun stops a crime. Probably prevented the guy from killing you.
Good.
Thank God he had a gun. Now, Mike Luck I Hate Americovich, the slimy...
Why do you promote this guy?
Political cartoonist. Well, because it's offensive. He's got a cartoon today.
But no one would know it unless you.
But we should. But again, he's a leftist, and people need to know what the leftists are still promoting their horrible agenda, including where his cartoon has 2 cops in a Uvalde police vehicle with the sirens and stuff like that. 2 cops, and one of them has a pig nose. Okay, so it's a pig cop. See the pig nose? The one on the left? That's a pig.
Son of a bitch.
That's a pig. Mike Luck I Hate Americovich drew a pig for a cop in the car. And it's a pig. It's a pig. Yeah. The 2 cops, and the other one's a white man, an albino. And the police car says, to protect ourselves and serve us exclusively. To protect ourselves and serve up excuses. I mean, once again, blast the police.
I have no problem with that. I have the problem with the pig nose thing.
Yeah. But again, it's just so easy to blast the police and then blame them, blast them and blame them. And so how do you expect kids to grow up not respecting the police? I mean, it's just, anyway. All right, hold everything. I want to talk about Raphael Wife Knocker. Also, the Country Music Association Festival is in Nashville, but there will be a few things not in Nashville. Also, we're going to play a little bit from Matt Walsh, who asked a very simple question and pretty much could not get an answer. But first, are you looking for a different ride? Want to trade your car? Just go to swapmywhip.com. Whip, W-H-I-P. Swapmywhip.com. Find like-minded car owners when you don't want to deal with dealerships and used car salesmen. At swapmywhip.com, you get a better deal by avoiding the middleman entirely. Trade your car, your boat, your jet ski, whatever, at swapmywhip.com. Check it out. Get rid of the middleman. And when you use the coupon code KIMMER, K-I-M-M-E-R, for 180 days of free premium listings on swapmywhip.com. Where's that for a different ride? Swapmywhip.com. And off we go. A couple of check this out. And again, I heard 106.3, the Extra Boys this morning talking about this. Nowhere could I find it until I went to one special place to find it. And I can't remember where that was, but I did find it. They told me what it was. Not Politico, but someplace. A girly Superior Court Judge, Shermella Williams, a registered Democrat and partisan before the 2020 election, again, a Democrat activist, got herself elected to Fulton County Superior Court, Shermella Williams, and she has now barred the public from a custody dispute between Senator Raphael Wife Knocker and his ex-wife, where she's going back to court because he's been such a scumbag that he's cut her off. He's cut off his kids. He doesn't take care of her. He's left her suffering with no money. His ex-wife is a representative for the court, told the Washington Free Beacon that Raphael Warnock, the judge in the case, Shermella Williams, the registered Democrat, sealed an order in the case to keep the couple's custody agreement from being public. It's a political victory for Wife Knocker, who joint filed with his ex-wife asking the court to seal the case, arguing the publicity would hurt his campaign for re-election. Ooh, you wouldn't want that to happen. I wonder if they're going to block anything about Herschel Walker. I guess the judge is going to block anything about his past.
If we had a real newspaper in this town,
please,
they'd be getting the details anyway.
There's no way the AJC is covering any of this. It's a political victory for Warnock, thanks to the girly judge Shermella Williams, the Democrat. His ex-wife is accusing Wife Knocker of harassing her, neglecting their two young children, and seeking to subpoena her college records. Why would he be doing that, I wonder? Wife Knocker said his opponents could use the public records to gain some political advantage on me as he fighting to hold his seat in the hotly contested a contest in Georgia.
Isn't that opposition research?
Well, there's a difference between opposition research and or polling, and a difference between that and hiding things to prevent a candidate.
Technically, that should be public information.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So,
well, the judge has the right. The judge can seal the court. Yeah. And that's what she did for political purposes.
Democrat.
She was helping Raphael Wife Knocker to get the information that would look bad to go public.
Yeah, of course she did.
I mean, the fix is in. They caught her. She did it. In 2008, she was a registered Democrat, this Judge Shermella Williams, in Washington and Pennsylvania. She was a local affiliate of AFL-CIO, aligned with the Democrat Party, endorsed her campaign in 2020.
What's she doing here in Atlanta?
Yeah, and Georgia does not allow voters to register with a party affiliation, and the state Superior Court races are supposed to be nonpartisan. This Judge Shermella Williams faced criticism for delaying the execution of convicted murderer and child rapist Virgil Delano Presnell over the objections of the families. He's been on death row for decades for killing one 8-year-old girl and raping her 10-year-old friend. Anyway, the Wife Knocker's ex-wife petitioned for a revised custody agreement because he neglects his kids' visiting days. He never shows up. His 2 young children. She's financially strapped. He doesn't reimburse her for anything unless she starts screaming and yelling and begging for it. She wants to allow her to move her kids out of state so she can get to a program at Harvard and get some job qualifications and so forth. They split after 4 years of marriage 2 years ago. And, of course, that's when he theoretically, according to her, apparently tried to run over her with a car. Maher, although he was never charged with attempted murder by a vehicular expected homicide. She accused him of running over her foot deliberately, and he's a slime bag to her and the kids, apparently.
Deadbeat dad.
Deadbeat dad.
Allegedly.
And she has to go to court and wants her. So the judge said, well, we don't want this to get out.
No.
The judge ruled that she didn't want that to get out. Hard to believe. These are the same people who believe that they don't know what a woman is, by the way. And speaking of that, Matt Walsh, talk show host, I think he's an ex-Marine, too. I think he's an old Marine. Anyway, he's a guy with a mustache and glasses, and he's a very witty guy. I like him. He's fairly sober and subdued, but he's a very witty guy. And Pete tells me on Twitter he's a little more of an ass kicker, but he's done more than one of these. Didn't he do one of the comedian documentaries not long? Anyway, he's got a documentary out that either he did or he's
doing
working
a documentary. Where he talks to some crazy psychologist or something. That's
well, here it is.
saying, "Oh, is this it?"
This is what we're going to play. Matt Walsh went to child psychologists, therapists, doctors, pediatricians, official people, medical doctors, official people who know stuff, and he asked them a simple question. He went to them face to face, sat down with them across a little table, and he would say, "Okay, what is a woman?" And then he would say, "Now, I like scented candles. Am I a woman? I mean, I like warm baths." Is that anyway? He was being serious to let them explain how they feel about people who wonder what is a woman. Here's a little bit of Matt Walsh.
Male gametes. That's what makes me male.
No, your sperm don't make you male.
Then what does?
It's a constellation.
In reality, in truth, okay?
Whose truth are we talking about?
The same truth that says we're sitting in this room right now, you and I.
No, you're not listening.
If I see a chicken laying eggs and I say that's a female chicken laying eggs, did I assign female, or am I just observing a physical reality that's happening in the world?
Does a chicken have gender identity? Does a chicken cry?
Well,
Does a chicken commit suicide? Let's
does that have to do
frame
with-
it, because you're trying to...
Chicken has sex like any biological
chicken has
organism.
an assigned gender, but a chicken doesn't have a gender identity.
So we assign female to chickens when they lay eggs?
We assume they're female if they lay eggs.
And they're so condescending.
So sure
well,
of
now oh my God.
She's talking down to him. Yeah. That's why I hate teachers. That's why I hate teachers. They're always condescending, talking down like they have all the answers, and most of them are morons.
Oh, I mean, jeez. It's cringeworthy. But these are people. I mean, they have patients and customers and clients.
My grandmother, who raised chickens her entire life, would be astounded to learn that she was pulling eggs out of roosters.
And my grandmother and grandfather, who used to cut their heads off on the stump for running around.
That was a scar. I'm gonna say that's scarred
We saw
me.
him. I saw him. I saw a chicken running around with no
I
head.
saw my grandmother wring one's neck.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, what?
Drown it. I'll be ready in a minute. Wink.
Put me off my feed for a while. There.
Oh God. Oh,
But then she made
mercy.
her fried chicken, man. It's
delicious. I bet it was good.
Give me more of that.
Oh, they could cook. And fresh vegetables. They had their own garden, obviously.
yes.
I mean, just
Can their own stuff.
I used to sit there with a bucket and shuck peas.
Oh, yeah. That's what you do. And we'd sit around, and the
Green
neighbors would
beans
come
and
over,
peas, yeah.
and we'd have watermelon, and we'd shuck peas in
Yeah.
a big room and listen to Jerry Clower records.
There
Remember
you go.
him?
Oh! I
Zoo
said,
City.
shoot the dog. Oh!
Shoot up here. One of us got a bit out of our misery.
Oh!
He was funny.
He was very funny. Me and the missus.
The preacher comes over for the chicken, and there's one piece left, and the lights go out, and you hear this blood-curdling scream. And the lights come back on, and the preacher's hand is around the piece of chicken, and there's 5 forks stuck in the back.
Very funny guy. That's old-fashioned humor too, and it's still funny. You can't help but laugh at that, and it's from the 1950s, and it will never change. Here's something that's changed quite a bit. Talk about being woke. The CMA Fest, the Country Music Association Fest, this year, as they do in Nashville, is prohibiting any imagery at the 4-day festival having anything to do with, quote, the Confederate flag. The policy is based on the personal safety of the fans and to prevent discrimination. Quote, this year's Country Music Association Fest is our first major facing event in nearly 3 years. We've always had policies in place to protect the safety of our fans and ban discrimination, but we felt it was important. Okay, they've always had things, but now we felt it's important to further refine our language to explicitly outline what will and will not be tolerated. Why did they suddenly decide this year they have to do this, I wonder? The Pandemic Festival began in 1972, returns to Nashville, attracts about 50,000 country music fans. The Stagecoach Festival in Indio, California banned Confederate flag imagery and any divisive symbols or racially disparaging displays. Country star Maren Morris is urging other country singers to call on festivals and shows to ban the Confederate flag. Luke Combs has oh my God, I don't know him, but he's a country star. Luke Combs has apologized for previously appearing at shows that had the flag, saying, well, there's no excuse. Well, you were there and somebody had a flag.
That's
and
their
so,
prerogative if they don't want to do
fine.
it. And it's your prerogative if you don't want to support
I
it, don't
know.
go.
It's just, the whole, it's just, why now you got to, I guess you have to be more
Okay,
woke.
why does the Confederate flag belong at a music festival?
It doesn't belong anywhere other than if somebody wants to fly it. It
Right.
belongs on your truck. It doesn't belong on the truck unless you want to put it on your truck. So
It's like
I mean,
Bubba
it's not like
Watson
it belongs anywhere.
Taking it off the General Lee. It's
yeah,
ridiculous.
I know. And that was the golfer, the left-handed golfer, bought the General Lee and covered up the Confederate flag on the roof.
Well, he's off anyway.
She's an idiot.
The Confederate flag brought to you by, well, not really, farmhouseprintingco.com. Custom shirts and signs, promotional items, no minimum order, no setup fees. They have laser engraving now. You imagine
It's
laser
beautiful
engraving?
stuff. I just got a note from one of our Kimmer babes who said she just got her stretchy T-shirt.
Yes.
From farmhouseprintingco.com and loves it.
Kimmer Show t-shirts, Holy Crab and Sports t-shirts, farmhouseprintingco.com.
Outstanding. Now, sorry, almost got that one. Now, speaking of discrimination, dozens of churches, like 70 member churches to the United Methodist Church North Georgia Conference, are quitting. They took a vote, and it was 1,800 people attending the annual meeting. 1,100 people voted we'll leave. 91 said we should stay. And the delegates in the North Georgia Conference of the United Methodist Church have voted to allow 70 member churches to voluntarily leave the conference because of their disagreement over the issue of full inclusion of the LGBTQ community. Ironically, the people attending the meeting is a little less than 2,000. The theme, again, this is in Athens, runs through Saturday. The theme is, quote, a place for you at the table.
just not next to me.
Well, not you. I mean, no, the other table. Some of the tables are not quite as inclusive as other tables. Yeah, we don't want. I mean, come on. I mean, a place for you at the table. Well, not you 70 churches. Well, whatever. I don't care. It's just live your life and be a good person. Give me a break. Oh, speaking of living your life and trying to do stuff. Gwinnett County is now banning smoking outdoors.
When I was a kid, we could smoke in high school.
We smoked everywhere. Elevators, cars. I mean, the new rule takes effect later this month. Indoor workplaces, indoor public places, and smoking includes, by the way, vaping and e-cigarettes. They are now banned in outdoor work areas and public recreation spaces as well, even vaping. I can see if you want to ban cigarettes because people throw them on the ground and mash them in and there's litter. I mean, and that's not a deal breaker, but still I can understand it. People are not considerate. But how the hell can you ban somebody vaping on an electric cigarette that is all vapor and disappears immediately going into the air at a public park?
But other people can smell it, and if they're upset by that, then you're infringing on their space.
You have to be right next to the guy come on.
Some of it smells really good.
Well, they're all flavored.
I know.
Cherry and black
Spencer,
raspberry.
Spencer used to come in with some raspberry type thing. I was like, damn, that smells good.
Yeah. they're reducing the exemptions to places where you can smoke to only 3. It used to be like a dozen. The only places you can now vape in Gwinnett County are cigar bars, hookah lounges, or your house.
Well, the Hangman's going to be upset about that. By the way, I saw Hangman as I was leaving to come here today.
Really?
Him and his
He
boss,
parks not far
Brian?
from where.
Brian were out there, and I was yelling at him, and they were yelling at me.
Yeah, cool.
That's how
I
we
wonder if
see
he's
each
still
other.
going to Disney World all the
Oh,
time.
Yep.
all
yeah.
the time.
Jesus. I bet he doesn't have as many crowds. I'll bet the crowds are
So
down.
a friend of mine was there this past week, and she sent me a picture, and it was packed.
Who was? God.
But I mean, you got to also look at summertime too.
Yeah.
So it's just
well,
not
and I'll
starting.
bet people are saying they've always wanted to take the kids to Disney World, and now saying now's the time to do it because people won't be going, and they
It's
find
also
out people
been
are.
well, I think it's faded. It's been
Yeah.
a few months.
And again, you can do whatever you want if you want to take. I've been to Disney World and Disneyland. I've taken my kids. So I mean, what the hell?
I never thought it was all that great. To tell you the truth, I
Well-
like Universal better.
Well, I'm not a big fan. Well, we did that too, and then you go to the Sea World or whatever. I mean, see, if you go to we went to the Universal Studios, which is a great fun ride thing.
Did you ever go to Silver Springs, the old
No,
Florida?
never did.
Oh my
No,
God, you
never
got
do that.
Wiki Waki, and well, I don't think they do the
I don't
mermaids anymore.
Yeah.
But Silver Springs is actually great. The glass bottom boats.
Yeah.
It is so cool.
Yeah,
I
never,
think
never
I
made
actually
that.
have been there because I was born in Winter Park, and my mom's side of the family was from Orlando, so we went there every summer, and I vaguely think I kindly remember that. But the other thing I was going to say is that at Disney World or Space Mountain, have you ever seen a picture of Space Mountain with the lights on?
Never been.
I can't
It
remember.
it looks more scary with the lights on than the lights off.
Because all I remember seeing is the outside wall
So,
of it.
yeah,
and
the
then
outside.
dark-
It looked there were lights in certain places. It looked kind of spooky and all that. But when you look at with the lights on, it looks like a super old roller coaster with about 8 billion metal parts.
Really? I don't. Have I ever done? I think I've done. Haven't I done the space? I
think
did
they
the log
closed it.
ride where you got all wet and everything. I think
Six
with it.
Flags.
Oh, is that? Well, don't they? I did something at the Disney place. I don't remember.
Got arrested
well,
for
it was a long
You're
time.
thinking of Epcot Center and the ball. Did you do that one?
And the Epcot Center we knew. And again, one of the nice things about it was actually the restaurants. I mean, there are the
Epcot.
world of restaurants. I mean, there's good. I mean, that's good food. It's
Get a
not
good
cheap
pint,
either. But
pint
it's,
of ale in there too.
yeah.
Buy some
But
English winch.
Yeah, but the food was good. I mean,
Remember when it was hot? You go to Norway and they would go inside where they had it was a maelstrom, and it was a little cheesy little ride, but it was air conditioned, and it was it was great.
I
I
don't
think they got rid of that too.
I'll be damned. Let's see. Oh, a quick thing about teenagers. This is really kind of depressing. Again, we don't try to do a lot of crime things, but just so you'll know, this is real. Alexis Hernandez and Fernando Osorio, both 17, have been arrested now for murder in the deaths of 2 teenage brothers. Brian Veronica, 17, and Luis Veronica, 19, of Stone Mountain. Another 17-year-old has already been charged, so we have a 16-year-old also charged with murder. So you have a 16-year-old, 3 17-year-olds, and a 19-year-old all involved in murder in Stone Mountain. 16, 17.
That's why we don't live in Stone Mountain anymore.
Jeez. No word on what it was all of drugs or girls, who knows. Also, I did note one thing here. I kind of felt a little nostalgic and, well, a little melancholy, honestly. The Roswell City Council has now approved $304,000 to spend with Killer Creek Harley Davidson to buy 10 new copsicles. We'll take the surplus existing fleet. They're about $30,000 a piece, and they got the lights and all the stuff, and the custom fittings and the sirens and everything. But they will also. This means at Killer Creek, where I used to take my Harley for service because it's right down the road for me. They will also surplus the existing police motorcycle fleet, which means either it'll be an online public auction or they'll sell them at Killer Creek. I bought my copsicle, my cop Harley Davidson, at Earl Small's Harley Davidson, used 1 year. After a year, they sell them. And I bought this cop sickle, and then I souped it up. And it cost me, by the time I got done with a new engine, the Screaming Eagle and all this stuff, and the suspension and the pipes, I had like a $50,000 investment motorcycle. But when I sold it, I got almost 7% back. So that was That was the good news.
Hell of a businessman. Why am I in business with you again?
I got almost 7% back on my investment. It was like $6,500.
I've listened for 30 years of your bad business dealings. And what did I do?
Yeah,
I
signed up
to
with
be in
me.
business
He's
with
my executive COO.
You're like a bad girlfriend. You know, at the time you shouldn't do it, but you're doing it.
She told me no, and I said, well, I'll ask her again. What the idiot. Bam. Yeah, wake up. Stupid. Jeez, I'd be rich and retired.
I know.
Oh, God, I'd be rich and retired. Well, whatever. This is a time that motor vehicle people, including the American Automobile Association, call the 100 deadliest days for teenage drivers. You know, it happens every year. And again, it used to happen a lot. I remember like 10, 15 years ago, I remember in the summertime, God, there was one after another. Yeah. Remember that back for a couple of years?
Crazy. Yeah. Every teenager drives crazy.
And I remember the story of the poor father. A father had bought a new XKE R model, the one that's really fast, their big high power model. And the son said, "Oh, Dad, let me drive it. And the father said, "Son, you're not, he was 16, 17. So you'll wreck it. It's too much car." And he said, "No." So the father let him do it, and sure enough, he killed himself. Anyway, but the 100 deadliest days, and I'm only passing this along quickly as parents if you have teenage kids. The danger zones for drivers are the following: driving just basically inexperience, 2, driving with other teens in the car, driving at night, no seatbelts, distracted driving, which means reaching for the radio or a joint or to fix something or your phone or emailing or whatever, drowsy driving, reckless driving, and drunk driving or high driving. So that's just for
sex driving too.
Sex driving too.
Yeah,
which, by the way, sorry. All right, hold everything. I have a couple of musical historical notes for you coming up here today. And also some musical history and a scuzzy look at a girl named Miley. The time that Kenny Chesney and Tim McGraw got busted taking on the police department. And the frenzy by the designer named Jacques Haim. All coming up here and more in the Kimmer Show program. But first, how about a visit to one of our Kimmer sponsors, M&S Title Pawn. M&S Title Pawn. I'm saying it that way because it sounds like M&S and you can't know how to spell it. The company is M, the letter M, and the letter S, Title Pawn. M&S Title Pawn. This lovely little segment of the Kimmer Show podcast brought to you by M&S Title Pawn, located in beautiful Bremen, Georgia, right there at 306 Laurel Street, Suite A. They're open Monday through Saturday. You can visit them in person. And the name of the place to get them on the web is manstitle.com. MANDS title.com, which would be M&S title.com. So spell it manstitle.com. And the company is M&S Title. Now, call them. Here's a phone number. They're in Bremen. Here's a phone number. 678-821-3337. M&S Title Pawn in Bremen. And they know a lot about guns, too, by the way, and BB gun contests and shooting and training kids and stuff like that. And they're good folks. So I hope you do patronize our sponsors. They're good folks.
And tell them that you heard him.
Yeah, mention it because they want to know that somebody's listening and hearing, and we even if you're calling to see what they're doing, just tell them, by the way, we're listening on the Kimmer Show podcast.
That's kind of creepy.
A little creepy, but no, it's
well, what are you wearing?
It's important. Oh, you mean right now?
please don't call them up and harass them.
Did you mention something about co-workers and things that were distrusting?
Distrusting. When I sent you that bird thing.
I didn't know what that was all about. Now, how about good health? Did you do that? Throw that in somewhere too? You were talking about good health for people?
Good health. Let me see if I got the good health thing right here in front. Oh, well, speaking of health,
yes.
Golfer's CBD is a thing that you can mail and get edibles through the mail. But there's no THC. It's all the oil that makes you feel
CBD,
better.
Yeah.
And they sell it to professional golfers on the tour. And it's edibles.
Well, now that's a new change. They were not able to use CBD oils, I thought. It must have had.
I think they changed it.
No, I thought they changed. They must have changed that rule then. I don't think they were allowed to use CBD.
They are. I guess they changed it. The World Health Organization has declared that dogs can no longer transmit the coronavirus. Hey, Flounder. Get in here. The World Health Organization has declared that dogs cannot transmit coronavirus, so there's no reason to quarantine dogs anymore, which is good news.
Yeah.
So in other words, who let the dogs out?
No, hey, oh. I assume you wanted him to start playing the theme, woof woof or whatever.
Well, no, you can do whatever you were doing. I just wanted you in here for that
We're
one.
just getting lunch. Did you have your lunch yet?
No, I had to grab something out there. My brother had to stop by real quick.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you should have brought him in. Your brother was over here? Yeah. Why didn't you bring your brother in?
He was in a hurry.
Yeah, he
You
don't want
really
to be
can't
part
be
of
in
this.
that much of a hurry.
Yeah,
It's a
can't.
Kimmer Show podcast.
He's got 2 kids he's got to
Got
get
kids.
Oh, my God. You should have brought him in.
Got breaking news here.
All right, breaking news.
I just got an email from Mrs. Emanata Zongo,
Oh, my.
who is a personal account executive at the board of directors of the United Bank of the Burkina Faso,
Wow.
which is a country in Africa.
I remember that.
Obviously, all the money in Nigeria has already been given away. So now Burkina Faso is in. She has an interesting business proposal that will
Yeah.
benefit both of us, she says.
God, let's get in on this.
She has $8,200,000 in United States dollars, not United States,
Yeah.
United
Now,
States
can we get
dollars.
some of that? Or
Yeah, well, she says right here that we can. I will keep. I promise
God,
to keep
who do we call?
in the know about this. Please keep all details between you and I. Don't tell
Don't
anybody.
tell any friend,
oh
yeah.
crap! I just blew it.
Oh, all right, Flounder, we'll have to edit this part
We're gonna
out.
have to kill Flounder because it's $8 million.
So what do if I come up with 8 million, I get 100 million, or what?
If I have an urgent response to this and share with my my details of my account,
Well, we should get on that.
she's
because
going to be
that's,
right here to help me out. At any,
That's some serious jing right there,
all
my
my
friend.
money.
Oh my God.
I don't know if you heard about Sweden. Okay. You growing up and your parents and grandparents and I growing up here in the South.
Yeah.
If someone drops by unexpectedly
Yeah.
and it's dinner time or before whatever, what
You're
happens?
coming to dinner.
That's
You're
right.
Say, put a plate down and say, here we go, and feed you up right there.
In
There's no choice. I mean, hey, come on
come
in.
on.
They pull out a chair and pull out a plate, and you're in.
Right. In Sweden,
Yeah.
I did not know this. Swedes cook for the people they expect, which is their family, in precise portions. We don't mind guests in Sweden. Just tell us in advance, and we're going to add one more. It is understood, though, you do not eat at a friend's house unannounced.
Wow.
In other words, if you come there and you go in a Swedish house, it's pretty much said, if they start eating, you ain't eating with them.
Yeah. Well, I think that whole part of Europe is probably fairly.
No, it's because everybody in Europe is going, what are you talking about? In Germany and Holland and England, come on in. We'll make more. We'll
Really?
make more food for you.
I was thinking maybe they're so reserved that they're, it's like they say if people in Norway are always, is it Norway they're so depressed?
Finland.
Or
Finland is the highest
They're
suicide rate.
dancers who won't say hi to anybody, but they all dance. I remember I saw it on 60 Minutes. I can't believe this. In Finland, they literally have dance clubs where just strangers go and dance every day, every night. They're all dancing. They dance all the time, and they never talk to each other. No one ever says hi going down the street. They have the highest suicide rate in the history of the world. They're always depressed. I mean, it's a weird
no sun.
because of the sun. There's no
no vitamin D.
I guess.
So a few
Damn.
people have responded to this Swedish thing, saying, precise portions, crying, who hurt you guys? I had no idea Swedish people lived in such food scarcity. Perhaps you would just set up a GoFundMe to ensure Swedish people have enough food for their guests. I mean, it says, why even poor countries share their food?
I wonder if it's just somebody's idea of getting something going. Is that a Twitter thing?
Maybe they don't have any food there.
Well, I've
I
never
mean, it's
heard
Sweden.
that.
How much food do they cook
Well,
there?
they have that gefilte fish or whatever. What's
That's
that?
lutefisk.
Lutefisk.
Lutefisk, which is horrendous.
Yeah.
They have Swedish meatballs. You get it
Oh,
at
I
IKEA.
love Swedish meatballs.
In fact, they said they're so inhospitable. That's why we have IKEA from there, because they don't want to come and put something together for you. They
Yeah,
give
you
it to
do
you
it.
and you do it.
I hadn't thought of that. That's Swedish, although I love ABBA.
Okay, Matt has pointed out something.
Yes.
He says, I did something about Nick Saban and his body language a couple days
Yeah,
ago.
his arms crossed in front of him. It means he's holding back,
And
obviously.
people had a lot of good thoughts about that, but Matt says, oh, and now that I watch the Kimmer Show on YouTube, your body language is hilarious. I'm glad I can watch. I've been listening for 30 years.
Wow.
And here's something you never do if you have a sleepover with little boys and little girls. Do not leave Alexa on in the room. There's this great video, and I think it's on YouTube
did they-
or
did
Instagram.
they keyed her off?
They're all sleepovers, little boys having a sleepover, and one of them says, Alexa, tell us a bedtime story. And Alexa goes, I'm sorry, I don't know that. And another one, smartass says, tell us a horror story. And the first thing, she's quiet for a second. She goes, did you hear that? And one of them starts screaming, turn off, like that.
Oh, she scares
And
the
she's
crap
scared.
out of him.
And then again, what the smartass goes, keep going, Alexa. And she goes, seriously, did you hear that? I think it's right behind you. And she starts screaming, and the kids are screaming, and the mom comes in and goes, what the hell is going on here? And while I'm sitting there listening to this,
quiet down.
my Alexa pipes up and says, do you want to hear a horror story? I'm going, no.
Oh, my God. Oh,
I tell you, these
artificial
robots,
intelligence, man.
she'll
I mean,
tell
they're
you a
going to
horror
start.
story.
They're going to. And the next thing she's going to say, "Oh, sorry, didn't mean to bother you." You know, that's when you better start getting freaked out.
She does. In fact, on Fridays, there's a notification. I go, what's a notification? She goes, here's your weekly health tip. And she'll like, go outside. It's nice. Go outside and eat dinner and everything. You know, and if I say, well, I can't hear it right now, she goes, okay, sorry to interrupt.
I don't know about all this stuff. I don't think I liked all this stuff.
It's someone to talk to.
Breaking news.
Yeah?
Yes.
Woman performing oral sex on driver causes vehicle to crash into FedEx truck, officials say.
Well,
This
if you have
is-
to get there overnight.
Aren't those doors open where you can see in? Or UPS?
I go, my.
No, I think it was the
Oh, the
it
driver.
was the driver hit the FedEx.
Not the FedEx guy. A couple of
I got a
birthdays.
delivery for you.
I'm
Anderson-
literally reading the comments and it's stuff like that.
Here's special. Here it comes now.
It literally was a head-on crash.
Oh, mercy. Anderson Cooper is 55 today. Hale Irwin, a pro golfer in the Hall of Fame, 77. He was Hale Irwin. It won a couple of back-to-back U.S. Opens, I believe, when no one ever expected it. And just an unusual guy who had a great career, and it was totally unexpected. And, good for him. Rafael Nadal, 36 today. He's done one another one, I think. Raul Castro, the uncle to Canadians Justin Trudeau, is 91 today. In music list, Denise Williams, you may remember, she's 71. She did the song "Let's Hear It for the Boy."
Yeah,
That was a really good song. Dan Hill, who was from Canada, 68. He sang "Sometimes When We Touch," among others. 1953, speaking of music, Elvis Presley in 1953 on this day graduated from J.C. Holmes High School in Memphis. His photo shows a spit curl right in the middle of his forehead, which of course became his trademark with that curl right in the front and all greased up. He was the first member of his family to graduate from high school. Who? Elvis. Okay. And I remember when I was, I guess, 12 or 13 was a time when we would go to, my father would just tell us to go to the barbershop instead of taking us. We'd ride our bike to the barbershop and we'd get a haircut and then come home instead of the parents taking us, whatever that age was, 12, 13, or I don't know, maybe. Yeah. And I remember the time when I told the barber, give me, I want to, in the front, my dad wants me to get kind of a flat top, they call it a flat top, a brush cut, but leave the front long enough so I can put a little curl there in the front. And he says, okay. So he gave me a little, like a duck-ass curl in the front of my flat top. I come home. Hi, Mom and Dad. Got here. Oh, did you? You got a haircut, did you? He pulled me into the kitchen, took the dog scissors, the dog hair on him, pulled them out of the community drawer, and cut that little thing off my head. And said, there you go, looks better now.
I can see like Mo taking Larry into the kitchen.
Yeah, look, there you go. Now we're all set. Yep, no problem. Yeah. Speaking of music, on this day in 2003, Barry Manilow broke his nose at home in Palm Springs, California, when he accidentally walked into a wall. He broke his nose and hit the wall so hard that he knocked himself out for 4 hours. Sure. He was unconscious. In 2019, on this day, the scuzzy little Miley Cyrus, the Ick girl, tried to get clever from promoting her latest EP, She Is Coming, by selling condoms. Fans who bought her $20 rubbers would get a digital download of her music. Now, Flounder, on this day in 1967, the Doors released a song which would hit #1 2 months later, Light My Fire. When they were booked on the Ed Sullivan Show, they were told to change some of the lyrics. If you would play the song for us here.
Come on, baby.
Would be a liar if I was to say to you, girl, we couldn't get much higher. Come on, baby, light my fire.
The song lyrics are, girl, we couldn't get much higher, because it referred to gasp drug, so the Ed Sullivan Show told them, you're going to have to change the lyrics. You can't say that lyric. So they went on rehearsals and changed the lyrics and did not sing, girl, we couldn't get much higher. But when they went live, they sang, girl, we couldn't get much higher. And that was when Ed Sullivan told them, you will never again be on the Ed Sullivan Show, which is fine. Now, here's another one. Ray Davies of the Kinks in 1970 on this day. Ray Davies had to make a 6,000-mile round-trip flight from New York to London to change and record one word in a song by the Kinks. The song was Lola, and here's why. Here we go.
I met her in a club down in Old Soho, where you drink champagne and it tastes like Coca-Cola. C-O-L-A, Cola. She walked.
It's the Ray Davies song Lola used the word Coca-Cola, but the BBC banned any advertising on the BBC, and the word Coca-Cola was considered advertising, so he had to change it to Cherry Chica-Cola or whatever. Cherry Cola. One word, he had to fly 6,000 miles to record one word in the song so that they would play it on the BBC.
Now they just record it and you send it anywhere.
There you go. No big deal. Let's see, a couple other things. I mentioned Kenny Chesney and Tim McGraw on this day 22 years ago. They were in Buffalo, New York. I was going to think that myself. They were in Buffalo, New York. Kenny Chesney had asked if he could sit on a mounted patrol deputy's horse, and the deputy's daughter said, sure, go ahead. So Kenny Chesney got on the deputy's horse and galloped away. Deputies are screaming, halt, stop, stop, and off he fled. So they're chasing him and he's running away. That's when Tim McGraw and members of Tim McGraw's entourage attacked the deputies so that Kenny Chesney could steal the horse. Chesney was charged with disorderly conduct and released on bail. Tim McGraw was charged with second-degree assault and menacing and resisting arrest.
They were drinking.
They were hammered. Can you imagine? Get away, giddy up, go, hop along. Off he goes. In 1946, on this day, a French designer named Jacques Haim debuted a two-piece bathing suit in Paris, which he named the Bikini. Do you know why he named it the Bikini? Boom. He named it after the islands of the atoll in the South Pacific where they were testing atomic bombs. He chose the name Bikini because he thought the bikini was so scandalous that people would react to it the same way they react to an atomic bomb being dropped on people.
Brilliant.
And boom. And that's why he called it the Bikini. I mean, what a funny thing to come up with. A great idea. And of course, now everybody knows what a bikini is.
It's better than calling it the Hind.
You remember the first one you saw? Of course, the original bikini in America was really a two-piece. It wasn't a string bikini. But do you remember the first time you ever actually saw a real bikini?
Yeah, it was almost one of those
Bridget Bardot, probably.
Funicello beach movies, I think.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what. Well, anyway.
See, when I was a kid, that was all we knew was bikini.
Right.
That was women wore bikinis.
Well, I remember the first time I saw one, and the first time I saw one in my high school, I was in prep school, but they went to high school on the beach, named Lorna Spalding. I loved her. God, she was gorgeous. And she wanted to date. We dated once, and then I found out she wanted to keep going, and I didn't think she was interested, and I was stupid. Anyway, she's a beautiful, smartest girl in the school. Just a brilliant, brilliant student. Went to Harvard and stuff. Gorgeous little, petite little blonde. And the first time she's sorry, I saw she wore it too. Sorry. Shut up.
Rabbit hole.
The funny thing is, a bikini shows more than bra and underwear.
Oh yeah, right.
But then why are girls so embarrassed to be in bra and underwear but not a bikini?
Because it's personal cover-up clothing. Yeah. I mean, if they're in a bikini, they want you to look at them. So
yeah,
absolutely. 1968, pop art superstar Andy Warhol is at his New York film studio called The Factory when an enraged woman shoots him, damn near killed him. She was an actress named Valerie Solanas, the founder of a cult called Society for Cutting Up Men, or SCUM. SCUM. I'm not making that up.
And Lou Reed made afterwards, after Andy died, him and John Cale did a whole album talking about Warhol. And in his song about her, Valerie Solanas, he said, if it was up to me, I'd pull the trigger myself. He said, I'd kill her if they gave me a chance.
I mean, she was
nuts.
A freak, yeah.
And
apparently she wanted to pick up a song or something, and he wasn't ready. There was something, just silly little nothing of it.
She thought he wasn't promoting her career like
it was.
Like
it was something. He didn't come up with something on time. I don't know. That was basically unreal. Let's see, 1961. I wrote a note on the side, and I can't even see what the hell is it. In 1961, Pete, I'll bet you know all about, with all the times you've been arrested, I'll bet you know who Clarence Gideon is.
No, I have no idea.
Clarence Gideon was arrested on this day in 1961 and charged with breaking into a pool room in Florida. His case changed one of the basic principles of American criminal justice. The Supreme Court in Gideon versus Wainwright ruled, quote, a fair trial cannot be realized if the poor man charged with a crime has to face his accusers without a lawyer to assist him. The right to counsel. But it was only 1961 when people were given the right to a lawyer. That should have been done in 1799. I mean, really think about that. How is it possible? He went till 1961.
They could force you not to have a lawyer and you stand there and
You did not have the right to a lawyer. God, I mean, that's unbelievable.
That's pretty weird, isn't it?
I mean, I couldn't believe it. That's what the note was. Late in history. That's what I wrote. I couldn't read my own note. Late in history. It was only in 1961.
We had Miranda rights before we. Yeah. Or was that after? Which was
I
first?
think Miranda was
in the 50s, right?
No, you know what? I think that was 64 or 66
out in LA
or something.
Or something.
Yeah, I think Miranda was even later than that. Oh my God. 1784. Congress officially disbands the Continental Army and forms the United States Army. 1784. I got a bunch of sports things here. How cool is this? 1851. The New York Knickerbockers are the first baseball team to wear uniforms, of course. 1851. 1888, same day, Ernest Lawrence Thayer publishes the poem Casey at the Bat. And I'm kicking myself. I read that as part of a symphony orchestra's presentation of Casey at the Bat at Georgia Tech, maybe. I can't remember where I did it. It was some big celebration of something or other, and they had the Kimmer read Casey at the Bat with an orchestra, and I mean, it was a big, and I can't remember where I did it.
Sure this happened?
Yeah. Pretty sure. I think it was the same night I killed a guy on Ambien. I'm almost positive. In fact, he was going to give me a bunch of crap on my performance, I think. That was 1888. Same day, 1932, Lou Gehrig set a major league record. He hit 4 home runs in a row. Same day, 2003, Sammy Sosa of the Cubs broke a bat when he grounded out against the Tampa Bay Rays and showed it was corked. Yeah. And apparently he said he had picked up one of his batting practice bats. And his excuse, I remember this, his excuse was, he said in batting practice, he has corked bats just to give the crowd a thrill because they go 700 feet and some. But then he doesn't use them in the game, theoretically, but he grabbed one by mistake or someone gave him whatever. Anyway, he got caught with a corked bat in 2003. 1800, President John Adams would be the first president to move to Washington, D.C. to live in the White House, but it wasn't done yet. So President John Adams in 1800 had to live in a room over a tavern. President. 2001, TV comedy star and brilliant writer and comedian Tina Fey married a TV director named Jeff Richman and proudly did not hide the fact that she was a 24-year-old virgin. Good for her. 2009, actor David, speaking of virgins, 2009, actor David Carradine, star of Kung Fu. I love that show. I used to love that show. Star of Kung Fu was found in a hotel in Bangkok, Thailand, in a closet with a cord wrapped around his neck and his humunga-dunga-bungas tied together. It was either suicide by the worst way I can imagine or the famous old standard autoerotic asphyxiation. Yowie.
That doesn't interest me at all. I'm sorry.
I can't imagine. But it reminded me of the Dodgers pitcher had the girlfriend. You know, they've charged him, Trevor Bauer, and the girls would tell him, "I want you to knock me out.
Yeah,
I want you to choke me until I'm having sex and choke me until I pass out."
I know.
I'm sorry. Well, I mean, I'm sorry. You are right. Again, my ears will get better in a couple of weeks. Anyway, that's all I got here for everything. Time for bad text theater. We've talked long enough.
You'll meet your neighbors if
I might meet them.
They get excited.
Sorry about that.
All right, let's do the husband and wife today. You know that one?
Yep. Wait, is that the one that's directly under the...
Leo DiCaprio?
Oh, I thought we were going to do the one under the air fryer. That's the next one.
Where's the air fryer one?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay. This is a good one. I'll be the mom this one. I won't do the mom.
All right.
It's a boy asking his mama a question.
All right, a boy asking his mama a question.
Mommy, why am I black and why are you white?
Don't even go there, son. The way that party went, you're lucky you don't bark.
It's like there's a funny ad about that, or a meme of some kind, where a woman's in an elevator, and a blonde woman's in an elevator, and there's a bunch of guys in the background, and she said, and next to her is a little child, like a 4-year-old black kid, holding her hand. And she says, "Yeah, I'll never forget my trip to Puerto Rico on spring break. I only brought one thing back with me," or something. It was something, you know. Which is pretty amusing. Anyway, boys, have a great weekend. And as we speak, it's Friday. And we'll be back again next week and figuring things out. And
go to YouTube and subscribe.
Thank you, please. And again, thekimmershow.net covers everything. There's a link to the podcast, to the Radio 106.3, to signing up for PayPal, Patreon, and YouTube. Please just click subscribe YouTube. You don't have to do anything. Just click that, and you're in, and it'll help us. Very good. Thank you. God bless America. Appreciate all. Hoorah, Semper Fi. I gotta go. You're killing me. Look out. Bangada. Yeah, boy. Thank you all.